I'm not totally sure, Zaz, as we begin today, if in 21 years of doing this, I have ever felt exactly the way that I do right now starting this show today. And it's going to be honestly hard to overcome the way that I'm actually physically feeling. No, it's not. It's not exciting for this reason. Do you guys make any distinctions at all between feeling embarrassed and feeling ashamed? Any distinctions between the two things?
Yeah.
So shame is much worse, right? Feeling ashamed feels worse than embarrassed, even though embarrassing feels plenty bad, right?
Like the embarrassing will go away a lot quicker than shame.
I have felt embarrassed any number of times doing this show over 21 years. I've never started it feeling this kind of ashamed.
Why are you ashamed?
I was just throwing peanut shells all over the floor of the parking garage, and I got caught. And I got caught by Mike Ryan, who called me out in front of the entirety of the group. And then Amin looks up and is like, I was wondering who was doing that, and I had no moves away from that. I was simply throwing peanut shells on the floor of the garage and expecting someone else to pick them up.
There's a little stairwell thing, like by the elevator. Sometimes you take the stairs up, and I come up the stairs sometimes, and I'll see the shells there. And I'm just like, man, who are these people? In my mind, it's like 2 or 3 kids probably who work at the hotel in their like early 20s. They sit around, they crack wise, and they eat these peanuts. It's a peanut gallery pretty much. And then they just leave the shells everywhere. Like, come on, guys. Every day. And then Mike comes in here, and he's like, Dan, we got to talk about these peanuts. And I'm like,
well,
what?
The fact that they knew it was me, first of all, this is a hotel. Like, it could have been anybody. It's a
nice hotel.
It couldn't have been anybody.
It's a parking garage. But the fact that both of them, the fact that Amin didn't initially know it was me, but the fact that Mike immediately knew it was me, this is the source of my shame. I don't want to be seen that clearly. That could have been any number of culprits. This is Miami, and it's a luxury hotel.
I mean, Amin, you thought it was some squirrels? Who could have been?
Secret squirrel.
I don't believe that everyone here would have assumed that was me.
Oh, come on. Really?
I mean, Amin didn't?
Nah, like, if you said, someone here, Amin, eats peanuts, it's not the squirrels, it's not people working the hotel, it's people here who are eating peanuts and shelling them. Before I got to Dan, it would have been a while.
Dan, you get after those peanuts.
Yes, you do. Absolutely do. Case.
Let me explain to you how the peanuts are tapping into. I'm not kidding you when I tell you the peanuts are absolutely beyond them being delicious and great, and Hampton Farms being a great sponsor. The peanuts bring a childhood memory to me that has nothing to do.
Bingo.
It's a little early for Dan. Bingo.
Excuses.
With the taste of the peanuts and everything to do with the freedom of, wait, I can just throw these things on the floor in a ballpark?
This is not a ballpark. This is
the freedom of making trash and not having to pick it up.
This is a shared garage. Yes. There isn't, I mean,
My parents came from Cuba.
Not Texas Roadhouse. This is not something.
Why is Zagacki saying that?
I like the idea of Castro just being like, don't eat those peanuts.
America. This is for America.
I just treat every place like it's Texas Roadhouse.
Basketball, basketball, basketball. Basketball is back, Jack. Time for our favorite winter sport. The summertime is over, so let's head down to the court. Time for the tip-off. Give me fast breaks on the attack. Will you shoot a three or take it to the rack? Basketball is back, Jack. It's a dream shake down in the post, or a killer cross you love the most. When the offense tries to run and gun, is it man-to-man or box and one? It's big plays and talking smack. That's how you know that basketball is back, Jack. Let me hear you say, basketball, basketball, basketball. Basketball is back, Jack. 360 dunks and pick and rolls. And we're gonna watch it every day till they raise the Larry O. Hard fouls and hook shots. A dagger three and hack a the shack. If you say this game's the best, I'll say's a gag. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back. Basketball is back, Jack.
Chris Cody just asked me a question, and it's a good one, I think. Is basketball a winter sport? Yes or no? Because I don't consider it one, even though they play during winter. I consider the winter sports to have ice around them, cold around them, and so I think by the calendar it's a winter sport, but I don't think of basketball as a winter sport, so just put that on the poll. But as we get started today, I need people who may not know the entire history in this market in South Florida as we do something to help South Florida, that Zaslow and us and our show have been friends for 20 years. Started a radio station in Miami that we were very proud of. And Miami means a lot to us. And Zaslow, as a friend, a literal friend of the show, is obviously someone that I like and respect. But over the last 20 years, the way sports commentary has changed, there's everyone at the trough now. It is a democracy. Everyone's giving their opinions, and everyone has to have an opinion that stands out from the other opinions to climb out in this business. And Zaz is a rising star. But I believe he's over the line when his analysis of last night's sporting event is to walk in and be like, Jimmy Butler's a dick and the Warriors are bullshit. And I'm like, okay, that's strong and I understand it, but that's probably not the takeaway from last night's game for me. I'm more interested in the fact that we are in 2025 in a place where the champs don't have to play if they don't feel like it, and that's bullshit for the paying customer. Like Steph Curry, we've got only so many more chances to see him in person, and while I embrace load management and taking care of your employees, and I can make all the arguments on behalf of both pace and, yeah, travel must be really hard, that's bullshit last night. That the Warriors just shout for a month, hey, we're going to take that day off in Miami, and then it's Draymond Green out with an illness, Steph Curry, my ankle sore, and he decided it was going to be sore 4 days ago, and Jimmy Butler's not playing either, and then leaving after the game without shaking anybody's hand, without 6 years of relationship. That bridge is like so totally torched that he doesn't have anything to say to anybody, but it's too far. It's a bridge too far for Zaslow to come in and just be Jimmy Butler's a dick and the Warriors are bullshit.
I mean, you and I are on the same page. I was just a hell of a lot more efficient with it. Like, everything you just said is the Warriors are bullshit and Jimmy Butler's a dick.
It's a cosign.
The behavior of a dick.
Yeah, we don't take personal attacks. We just call out behavior. But look, the economy is well chronicled. People literally circle that game on their calendars, try to make plans. Mm-hmm. And this is the plight of the NBA fan right now. You make plans, you spend the money, you want to see the superstars. Steph Curry is an icon to younger generations. And Dan is absolutely right. They come to Miami once a year. We're running out of time to see this player. And Jimmy Butler's return on that court with Steph Curry is something that people would save money to see. And the NBA has a huge problem because the Warriors kind of totally punted on the notion of playing this game probably when the schedule came out and fans decided they were going to spend their money on that.
It's a huge problem, and no one seems to care to fix it. Like, we all talk about the ways that you can fix it, but no one actually wants to do anything to fix it. I do wonder, though, maybe Jeremy can answer this without me getting him in trouble. Do the Heat still charge, like, is there, and the Heat are not the only team that used to do this, do they still do the tiers package based on, depending on what team you're playing, it's a little bit more expensive to buy tickets?
Are you talking about sobbing or wailing?
I'm talking about price tiers.
I have no idea.
Because they at least used to do that. And if they do, then the NBA is stealing money from fans.
Let me do this, because I would say there is no one around here who loves basketball more than Amin. He dedicated the entirety of his life to that as a profession. He cares about movies a great deal. He cares about his family a great deal. But I think he cares about basketball the most. Every time we start ripping his sport, he gets pretty defensive about it in protection of it because he really loves it. Amin, you come into town, at least in part, because you love the energy and buzz of, I want to go see Steve Kerr and the Champs play the Heat in a building I respect with an organization I respect. And you get there last night, and it's a G League game.
I kind of knew. I knew. Like, they're on a 6-game road trip, right? They've been talking, right? What Cleveland did wrong was their guys played one night, and then 2 days later in the same city, they're like, everyone's out. But this guy can get on a plane and go to Louisville versus Kentucky, right? Meanwhile, the Warriors, what they did was, we're on a 6-game road trip, and early on, they start talking about, ooh, so-and-so's under the weather. Ooh, he's dealing with an ankle. He's dealing with a back. So they're setting up the alibi.
Yep.
So, and by the way, they don't announce the rosters. I went to Steve Kerr's pregame press availability. He was asked directly, have you guys released what the lineup's going to be tonight? He's like, no, and I'm not comfortable sharing that.
Zaz broke that story. For those of you who do not know and we're not listening, and if you want to make money around here on the DraftKings network, Zaz basically gave you about 6 or 7 points yesterday in the morning when he reported as a journalist that none of those guys are playing, and I saw that line fly. But it was long after Zaz had reported that because the Warriors were still protecting that. There were lines as if those guys were all going to play, and then none of them played. Draymond Green illness. That's not, what is that?
He's under the weather, Dan.
No. Draymond Green out, in parentheses, Steph Curry not playing. That's what it is. Like, if Steph Curry's not playing, Draymond's not going to play. That's what it was. That's why he was out.
Well, let's explore this for a second, because I know it's been a topic of conversation for a while, but I just, so that everyone understands, because I know it's the last dying, flaming embers of this dynasty, but for 10 years, that traveling road show has been the most important thing in the league, not named LeBron. And over the last 10 years, that guy as a shooter has been the biggest road draw there is in that sport. And if you want to sell out your arena, the traveling circus champions of this important team that has dominated a decade, led by someone who shoots like no one you've ever seen, and you want to make sure your kids are there so they can see him play. The last 2 times that team has been in Miami, he has not played. And yesterday, they gave the game away and told you 10 days ago with all their comments that they were going to give the game away. So I ask you, Amin, when everyone laments the problem, the paying customer who expects to go see the giant rock band doesn't get a bunch of impersonators then afterward without feeling somewhat hurt and betrayed and hurting the relationship you have with that league when that happens, because that's just simply a ripoff. What the Golden State Warriors did yesterday in Miami was ripping off the customer.
Say it. It was bullshit. Say it.
Warriors are bullshit.
I will not say the Warriors are bullshit. I will not say Jimmy Butler is a dick. I will say that the Warriors have exhibited the behavior of bullshit and that Jimmy Butler has exhibited the behavior of a dick.
6-game road trip. It was the last game of the road trip, and it was coming off of a back-to-back against Orlando. It was just, there's no inherent advantage to them sacrificing their bodies for that night.
Why wasn't this an issue back in the day then? Nothing. They used to do 4 games in 5 days.
There's a lot of. I mean, do you really want the TED Talk about?
I don't want to do that whole show again that everyone's been doing about fixing basketball for the last 18 months. But I do want to make it personal because it's right next door. And something else that I want to make personal is this telethon, donation fest, this charity help that we're trying to do in Miami, because I will tell you that Dave Lawrence, the former publisher of the Miami Herald, is an epic monument of a charitable man, and the Miami Foundation has helped raise over $190 million for more than 1,000 local nonprofits. These are real difference makers in our community, and so and there are not a lot of people at this tough economic time taking care of a whole lot of folks that can feel helpless and not have the feeling that anyone's caring. So as part of Give Miami Day, we're asking you to go to givemiamiday.org and help with some of the things that we're doing today. In partnership with the Perez Family Foundation, we as a show will be giving $10,000 to an assortment of charities locally here, and we want to get you involved in the cause. But I mean, I want to get, as someone who cares about basketball, you go across the street here. This would normally be over the last 10 years of what you felt down here in Miami around basketball, and you could be the mayor of Miami basketball when you walk into that arena because people associate you with talking up this team since it traded for Goran Dragic. You go there yesterday and feel what in your heart about Miami's playing Golden State, and this is nice, Norm Powell, and that's a nice fourth quarter against the Golden State uniforms, but that's not Golden State.
So from a Golden State perspective, again, I get it. Like, what's that? 8 of their 10 games in November, since November 1st, have been on the road, right? They're traveling. They're an undersized team. I was talking about this yesterday with some people. Like, look, this is a team that's built for April, May, and June, but you got to get to April. And the problem with that is they have a small team and they have an old team. They have the oldest team in the league. So it's like you got to choose your battles, man. And when you got a schedule like that, the way it is, that's just the reality of the NBA. It behooves nobody for them to trot out their guys, and then their guys get hurt for real and are out for extended amounts of time. And they're like, oh, why is everyone getting hurt? You got to make decisions along the way that make sense for your organization, even if it may be, quote unquote, selfish for the greater business good. From the standpoint of the Miami Heat, I think, like, it's concerning to me. Not concerning, because I don't think the expectations for this team are high. But the concern is, man, what's it going to take for you guys to take care of business against the teams that you should? Because ultimately, at the end of the season, we're going to be looking at whether you're 5, 6, or 7 based on, did you blow that game against Cleveland on a Wednesday night when nobody played? Because, what's his name, Tomlin, got bust your ass and nobody even never heard of that guy. Did you blow that game Wednesday night against Golden State because you had no answers for Quentin Post in the post? Like, these are the things that separate good teams from teams that do this.
Now, though, because what Zaz is saying is correct when he's saying, why wasn't any of this being talked about 15 years ago when teams went to the championship and weren't just protecting their play? Pat Riley ran all his men into the ground. He wasn't doing any of this.
So I think we had this conversation earlier this week, but the nature of the injuries that we're talking about, these soft tissue injuries, groin strains, calf strains, hamstring strains, back strains, right? It has nothing to do with, oh my God, they were like physical and they were hitting guys. No, it's about mileage and it's about pace. I told you guys this yesterday. 10 years ago, forget about the 90s, 10 years ago, the fastest team in the league was 100.5 possessions a game, and there was only one team doing that. 10 years later, with that pace, you were in the bottom 10 in the league.
What you're saying is all these guys are Ferraris now. They're not built to be 300,000 mile cars.
It's not even that.
Except that don't they take better care of their bodies now than they've ever done in the history of man?
I have a question, though, in terms of possible solutions. In Major League Baseball, something similar happened, and they just put pitchers on pitch counts. Why is the solution for these NBA teams to sit players out entirely
This is what I'm saying.
rather than just get deeper and rotate more players in?
This is what I'm saying. I mean, why couldn't those guys play the second half last night? Why couldn't Curry, Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler play in the second half last night? Yeah, that's right. That's right. Why do they have to sit out the whole game? Why can't, I'm being serious, why can't they play just the second half of last night? And we all know the answer. We all know the answer. No, we do. We know the answer.
I know the answer, but it's different than the answer that you want.
No, we know the answer, and we're on the same page here. It's because their averages would be lower. That's right. That's right. Their average takes a hit if they only play a second half. You're right. I'm glad we're on the same page, Dan, and that's why they won't do it. It's because their stats will hurt.
Also, the geography of basketball, right? Whereas, again, in the 90s, throw the ball to Patrick Ewing, I either have to hard double or I got to stay with my man. If I hard double, Patrick Ewing kicks it back out. He's not kicking it back out to 23 feet 9 inches. He's kicking it back out to Charles Oakley, who's 15 feet away. That's an easy closeout. The amount of ground basketball players have to cover now is so much more. It's faster, it's further, and it's intense. And that's not even counting, again, the immense mileage that they put on their bodies prior to them even shaking the commissioner's hand.
It is super interesting the way that you make the nuanced argument against the outrage of the emotion of, I want to see my stars play. The things that you're saying are accurate about everything in terms of wearing these guys down. But there's no solution to this problem if everyone keeps getting more athletic, and all of that athleticism means more pace, and all of that pace means everyone's as disposable as an NFL running back because we're going to run through these bodies faster than we ever did. And LeBron, with a 23-year career, if we just keep spreading the game out, we're going to make that a 12-year career because there are only so many miles you can put on all that tissue.
They're basketball players. They spend all basketball. I don't think they think it's disposable. I actually think it's the opposite. But too often, I want to learn from history here, too often we put Amin in the position where he has to defend the merits of the game. This has gotten worse as the league has put a focus on trying to solve this problem. That's bad. It's bad enough that it's a problem to begin with, but it's even worse that the league is trying to impose sanctions on teams, levy fines, take away personal
65-game limits.
Yeah, take away awards, and actually hit the players' wallets if they decide to do this, and it's still not working, and it's getting worse. So what do you say about that, and what is an actual solution here?
So I don't like the 65-game limit. I think it's ridiculous because for the main reason is the voters have shown the ability to discern, hey, that guy didn't play enough games already. Nikola Jokic's first MVP, people are not going to remember this because he's so great now. But when he won his first MVP, it was kind of like, yeah, I mean, he's the only one who actually played. Embiid was hurt a lot, and Harden missed some games. That's how he won that first MVP. It was a default decision. And there was no rule that had to force people to say, now, Embiid only played 51 games or whatever. People knew. The voters know. So I thought the rule, what it does is actually counterproductive because what happens is now you've got guys who are like, shit, I got to get back on the floor or else I'm not going to hit the minimums in order to qualify for these awards. And obviously the money and the incentives that are tied to a lot of these awards makes the incentive for a guy to rush back hurt. And ultimately, what we want is players to play. We don't want healthy scratches, but I think we can all agree we don't want a guy getting hurt because he's hobbled out there because I gotta prove to everybody I actually want to play.
I believe, and there's no way, again, it's I believe. There's no way to prove this. But I feel like now in today's NBA, if a guy is dealing with something and he's at 75%, he doesn't play. When back in the day, it's like, all right, I'm not 100%, but like I could play.
But I guess that's my thing. It's like, we've conflated like people getting hurt with like, oh, the guy just doesn't feel like playing.
Yes, and this is where it is that I'd like to put in front of everybody the facts of the problem as Mike tries to advance them, okay? And Amin tries to give you the context that makes you understand there's a fault line here in this league. Like this is an enormous crack, like a fracture on what's happening between the customer, the emotion of the customer thinking the player doesn't care when these are the facts. Was D'Antoni your coach with the Suns?
Yeah, he was one of them.
All right, the 7 seconds or less Suns would be last in pace today.
By far.
Last.
They'd
be last. And Haberstroh is saying that NBA stars have already missed 200 games this season due to injury or illness. That's double what it was a year ago at this point. So in the opening month of the season, the star players used to miss 1 out of every 9 or 10 games. Now it's 1 of every 3. That's a fracture in your product if you keep trying to correct it and it's just growing. Like if the commissioner's throwing everything at this, they've already got their league money, okay? Their business is fine. But they've got the customer feeling like, what? You can't keep ripping me off this way.
So there's a couple of things. Number one, I've said this for a while. I think the NBA has a bigger PR problem than they do have a players don't play problem. I think they failed to control narratives, and they failed
What could they have done different, you think?
hold their broadcast partners accountable. Look, I love Chuck and Shaq and all those guys. But every time they got up on TV...
Oh, that they're fanning the flames.
Like, oh, my God, these guys don't play and they don't care, whatever. Every time Perk and Stephen A. Smith do that stuff, all they were doing were on company airwaves, right? It's one thing if some blogger...
But you don't want them to be honest, then, is what you're saying.
Do you think the NFL coverage guys are honest? Ask them about CTE. You think they're honest? They don't do that. They don't mess up the product. Now, it's one thing if you're like... if Gilbert Arenas does it, man, Gilbert is an independent product. He takes no money from the league. He has no business sense or not business sense, but business obligation to it. But when you are a broadcast partner, Bro, David Stern wouldn't let that shit happen. Like, you got to keep these people in line.
He also wouldn't let
players just sit out.
do it.
So the second part of this, Dan, is do you know what water poisoning is? Have you ever heard of water poisoning?
No.
Right? Water poisoning is this thing happen. There is such a thing as drinking too much water. And water poisoning, the symptoms of water poisoning, do you guys know what the symptoms of water poisoning are?
I've heard of it,
I
but
gotta
I don't know
pee.
what symptoms are.
So much water.
The symptoms of water poisoning are almost exactly identical to dehydration. So this happens to a lot of marathon runners. They're like, I gotta hydrate. So they drink and they drink and they drink and they actually drink so much to get water poisoning, but they feel like, oh my God, I'm dehydrated. I feel dizzy. So then they drink more. And I think sometimes some of these rules that people are trying to do, like, we're gonna do this to get them to play, you're actually exacerbating the problem rather than solving it.
The problem doesn't have any kind of fix the way that we're framing it. And I will again tell you, as part of what we're doing all day today, it may feel to you like, because of the economy of things and inflation and the world run amok, that there is no help out there for you financially and there is no one who cares. That is not the case today in Miami. It is Give Miami Day. And Tony is out at Lone Depot Park, as are, well, I'm not going to say a lot of people based on that shot, but there are people there gathering in the name of giving. Tony, what can you tell us is going on out there?
Hey, Dano, great to hear from you. Today is Give Miami Day, Dan. And yes, as I'm standing here in front of the second base, where second base would be right there. The event hasn't started yet, so people are still filtering in. In about an hour, this place is going to be absolutely jam-packed. There's like a line down Bobby Maduro way, of 6,000 people. So there's going to be a ton of people here later on when we check in. But Give Miami super cool, Dan. It's a opportunity for Miami to love itself, to give to over 1,400 nonprofits. There's going to be millions and millions and millions and tens and maybe 20s and 50s of $1 million being raised for nonprofits all across the city, doing all sorts of important work. Whatever you can think of a nonprofit, they probably have one, and you could donate to it.
Not
so
50s yet.
We're going to be here
Tony,
hanging out.
Not yet 50s.
Well, no,
last year, nearly
I'm saying.
$40 million from over 50,000 donors, and we're looking to top that today. GiveMiamiDay.org is where you go. I know our listeners are always very strong here. Sorry to interrupt you. I just did. I want your facts right. Nobody's been giving 50s of millions of dollars.
Well, hopefully this year's we break the 50 mark is what I was forecasting there, Dan.
For
kind of like an analyst, I'm forecasting what's going on.
For people just listening, Tony is standing on the field where I used to think Cecil Fielder was. What? Remember I admitted before that I used to think Cecil Fielder was a position?
Well,
what? The Cecil Fielder.
And Tony is standing where
Yes.
I thought the
Yes.
Cecil Fielder would play.
Yes, that is
The floating area, shallow center.
That's awesome.
Tony, I know I feel this every single time I'm on an NBA court. It happens to me every time where I'm like, holy shit, this is a lot bigger than it looks on television. Where you're presently standing, you are impressed by the size of the infield, are you not?
Yeah, the infield's definitely big. When you get down to the field level, what looks bigger is obviously everything in the background. When you look at the field, you're like, okay, third base is 90 feet away. I see it there, but I'm kind of in the hole almost here between second, and it's big.
Cecil Fielder.
It's big. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's big.
What else?
Cecil
What else do
But
we
I'm
need
thinking
to?
right now,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
my bad. No, things are happening here, Dano. My bad. So I'm thinking of sitting here at second base, getting ready to. Can you guys see me? I'm
I can
taking
see
a
you
lead
taking
off
a lead
here.
poorly. Yes, I can see you're twerking there. Yeah, you're taking a lead. It's good work.
Baseball
by you.
fields.
I had to get back.
Baseball teams take their field so serious. Why can't the game? There's not a game till April there. We can't step on the dirt.
So what? You think that they should allow weeds to grow?
I mean, I'm
'Cause
just
it's not seasonal?
having it roped off.
No,
seems
you
just
got to
like a
look
strong-
major league. Your field has to look year round, like it's manicured in major
Play
league.
till April.
You can't have browning in the grass. Oh,
I'd say water it, but
Chris
just
is 100% right.
guys,
Chris is 100%
we didn't
right. They told
frame
me the
Tony's
one thing that you
appearance
cannot do.
with enough noise and celebration and color here.
GiveMiamiDay.org.
Yes, GiveMiamiDay.org. Tony, we will check in with you later for your top 5. Thank you. I I will say that the Perez Family Foundation, in honor of my brother, is giving $10,000 to an assortment of Miami charities, including NABJ South Florida, Comic Kids Inc., Young Art Aid, a number of different art-related charities here in South Florida. The website is givemiamiday.org.
I know you're brushing me aside with the second half thing, but why can Lionel Messi enter an Inter Miami game and play in the second half, and NBA players can't do that?
I am mocking you for the take on just have them play second half because you know too much about sports and the way these athletes train and take care of their bodies to treat them as a gas bag who just thinks you can get out there 3 minutes before tip-off with a bag of chips and you don't have to prepare your body for 2 hours before the game in order to play the entirety of the game or half of the game. The ask or the request of whatever is rest and healing on that day gets ruined if you have to test your body for 20 minutes or 40 minutes. It's not a rest day. You're running through the body.
The impact is different. And the league has shown, hey, if we make shots at the end of halves and quarters not count, we've incentivized these players to take them, and the players are taking it.
You've noticed everybody loves chucking the ball now at the end of the quarter.
So get rid of points per game as a metric and make it points per 48. This is a new league universal standard. We are doing things to combat this issue, which is grave. It is a huge problem. We've tried everything. It's not working, so we are going to change the metrics entirely. Points per game is a thing of the past.
See, you're providing a solution to a problem that Zaz has decided that's the problem. The problem is their averages. That's not the problem. Dan actually told you what it was. Like, if you play half a game, that's still you played, right? Like, the act of getting ready to play an NBA game. I went there last night. I'm watching DeAnthony Melton warm up, and Steph Curry comes out, and everyone loses their mind. Because everyone's like, oh, we're going to see the step do the dribble thing, and then the thing when he shoots from the tunnel. And he didn't. He just, like, shook hands and kissed babies and took photos of fans and stuff like that, and then he went back inside. Because that's the definition of rest. If he has to go out there and break a sweat and do all that stuff, and then take it a step further and play a half of basketball, whether it's the first half or second half, you've completely ruined what was supposed to be a rest and recovery day for someone who's ailing.
But, I mean, you've been around these players. Like, the only time they're not playing the game is when the games are playing and they decide to rest then. They spend all their time perfecting their craft by playing. It's not football. It's not hockey.
But you're saying it's not football, it's not hockey because you're thinking about, where you guys don't get concussions or not. Like, again, look at all the major injuries. Read that Habisho list. The number Giannis and Wembanyama and people that you guys all can recognize. These are guys that like playing. These are all injuries that are non-contact injuries. These are all soft tissue injuries.
Guys, this part is really interesting. When the business and the most valuable assets are being stressed to the point of breaking. Stressed, and when I say stressed, by the broadcasters yelling about this, by the pressures to play, by the economic pressures of their life position, and by the disrespect even Zaslow, 20 years in this market, shows when there's the feel or assumption that these guys 8 hours a day aren't finely tuning their bodies, trying to make sure that none of them break. Like, that's what they're doing for 8 hours every day, twice a day in the weight room. Drills meant to be non-contact. They don't go full intensity in practice, but everything around the practice.
They never practice.
No, but everything around the practice is meant to keep these machines from not breaking. It's not even during the season anymore that much about how much better can we make you. That's training camp and an assortment of other things. By the time the season arrives is, how do we get our most valuable pieces to not break in the postseason?
Then why are they breaking more?
I don't know. Amin is explaining to you, wow, we're putting a stress on the bodies here. Guard more, guard farther, go faster, and the bodies are breaking. Like, that sounds like a pretty good explanation. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it because they're like, what do you mean? Charles Oakley ran up and down. And it's like, not like that. Not being asked to take threes and not running twice as much.
Why is it only an NBA player thing? Like, why doesn't the hockey player need a night off?
Have hockey changed in terms of I don't know. I'm not.
Got to be more physical. Has to be.
You keep saying physical, and that's the problem where this conversation really is not going to advance because you guys keep thinking about like someone hit me, and that's not what's happening.
Okay, so compare it to soccer, as Zaz did. Sports are similar in terms of strain that it puts on your body.
Messi's old, but instead of not playing, he'll go out there in the second half so the road crowd can see him.
I know you checked out on Inter Miami, but there was a big controversy in that league with Messi playing international duty but not playing for his club. Like
he missed games.
He missed games, and for Messi in particular, that is a huge thing because he's bigger than the sport of MLS.
But there are plenty of games where the soccer player checks in for just the second half because they don't want him playing the entire game because of load.
Let me try to answer Zaz's question. Zaz has the long ball, and particularly stopping the long ball, increased in soccer, like in certain style of play.
Yeah, I mean they're playing from the back a lot more.
Right, but I'm just talking about like, hey, we've got to defend up more.
I think in terms of cardio, people are high pressing. You mean the high press?
Yes,
because people are playing out at the back more because the long goal kick. The analytics said that's a dumb play. Why give up possession? Play out the back. So you have what the Germans call the Gegenpress, where they go up and it's more cardio for the forwards. They have to be more defensive minded in the midfield.
But it's still straightaway running. Like it's not like again the dimensions of a basketball court.
You're all
where
over.
I'm standing like 1 foot in the paint, and then my man is over here. I've got to run to the top, and then my guy that I helped over here, he's got to sprint out over there and close, and then stop short because you can't just keep running through him.
It's all relative. The playing surface is bigger. There's 11 players, so you shrink it down to 5 with a smaller court.
We're in the weeds.
This is where everyone wants to be. Or we're just going to say ignorant things.
Okay.
Which do we want? Do I have the ignorant show? I can do the ignorant show.
It's a
Soccer players are soft. They flop all the time. We can do that.
I'm sorry, we put them in a corner. I didn't want to put you in a corner.
I'm just saying, I'm trying to balance. Are we trying to have like a smart conversation? Or we're trying to do show. I'll do show.
So how would you get players to play more? Give me just 2 solutions. How do we get the stars to play more?
Well, first of all, we got again. You're saying the problem is they need to play more. I said my problem is how do we get them not to get hurt?
Okay.
I've got
the problem.
More consistently. The stars to play more consistently, not more. Do you make it fewer games? How do we avoid families saving money to spend on tickets and not be able to see the stars that they're trying?
Here is the problem, as Chris Cody is saying, we're in the weeds on this is catastrophic for this business because what Amin is shouting here at everybody. You guys want to just complain about the problem or you want to hear what the problem is? The problem is 7'7" not meant to play that way, that pace.
Bang.
Those feet, those knees, those ankles, those are big bodies. Rudy Gobert's body and feet are going to be messed up. You can't make him run around that much. You've got a structural problem at the core of your business because you're stretching the athlete physically, mentally, emotionally through travel beyond the extremes of the human body's limits. Like you're breaking your player, you're breaking your products by what you're asking them to do. And the answer is play fewer games. And the answer is from the league, bleep you, we need the TV money.
We need all the money. We need the gate. And by the way, the money goes across to everybody. It's not just the league saying it. Players, if they went to the players and said, okay, so I got all 30 owners. They've agreed to take less. We're going to give money back to NBC, ESPN, all these guys because we're going to go down to a 72-game season. We're going to get rid of back-to-backs and all that. But you guys need to take a pay cut as well. Players are going to be like, bleep you too. Or the coaches. Bleep you. Everyone is eating at the trough, to use Dan's term.
So the only people who get screwed are the fans. That's it.
That's correct. And it's going to keep happening with streaming dollars and everything else. Yes, get used to, and more people are going to be charging you. Jeremy, give me some hard data here because what Amin is doing.
Don't forget to circle back on Amin solutions, please, because it was bleep you. There are no solutions.
Well, data better be hard.
The average speed of the top 10 players per game in 2013 and 14, it was between 4.67 and 4.8 miles per hour. But now this season, that top 10 has moved up to 4.99 and 5.6 miles per hour. So the top player in 2013-14 wouldn't even be in the top 25 in sprint speed this year. If you look at it, players are running about 9% more distance per minute on the court than they did a decade ago. Tyrese Maxey is running just under 3 miles per game when he's playing on the floor, and VJ Edgecombe of the Sixers is just underneath him. So they're like running those guys into the ground.
And to put that in perspective, again, Jeremy's comparing numbers from 10 years ago. You know what 10 years ago was? Steph Curry hitting the half-court shot against Oklahoma City. Oh, the Cavs come back from a 3-1 deficit to win the final. Like, that's not like, oh, Michael Jordan was playing against plumbers. That's guys that are playing in the league right now were playing 10 years ago. Like, it's changing, guys. You guys are not accepting that things are changing, the style of play is changing, and the demands on the player bodies are changing. And as a result, we're getting more injuries. And so what teams are trying to do is like, how do I make sure I don't kill my best player? Because as sad as everyone is that Steph Curry didn't play last night, how much sadder would they be when they say Steph Curry's not going to play the rest of the goddamn year?
They ran Tibbs out of the sport, man, because you got to keep up with how the sport changes, and it's all changing. So to Mike's question, because I don't know, how do you save poverty? How do you save helplessness? How do you save a league where they've got a structural problem that simply can't be fixed? There's not a solution to, if you're going to keep being greedy, if you're going to keep needing the same amount of money, and if you're going to keep competing in a way that's going to keep stretching everybody's limits, Chet Holmgren is going to break down, even though he's the young one, and OKC doesn't have this problem. But they're taking those fourth quarters off, to Zaz's point, because they're getting up by 30 points. They're going to take over a different part of the league healthy because they're younger and they don't have the mileage on their bodies that the Golden State Warriors have when they're coming to Miami and they're like, we need rest. We need to get some sunshine.
I totally hear everything you're saying. I'm still Team Warriors of bullshit.
11 in front of the hour. Returning on Mad Dog Unleashed.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
I'm not sure I'm prepared for the how to avoid injuries show.
That was an hour. That was an hour of, do you actually want to talk about this problem, or do you just want to shout at a mountaintop, dumb, dipshit, rich, spoiled, entitled athlete, play? And yesterday I wanted to shout play. Because it came to my city, the traveling circus came to my city, and for the second time, like, I want to see the greatest shooter ever. I want to be able to say that I watched the greatest shooter ever at the end of his career when he was making all these moments.
Norm Powell?
Yo, I love Norman Powell. I love watching him play. That's my dog.
I don't know why you're saying that way.
What way?
That's how he talks, Dan.
The other thing that I wanted to get to, since I want to talk about the business of sports today, is college football and things changing so fast that some of these amateurs, like Steve Sarkisian, and I know he's not an amateur, but he finds himself in a pressure cooker of business that has Desmond Howard saying, hey, don't be surprised if Sark and Texas part ways, okay? Now, this is wildly interesting to me. Texas and Oklahoma going to the SEC, Big Ten getting involved, and hey, let's do private hedge fund, $2 billion. The pressure falling on the head of a man who left his last job with a drinking problem, and I don't want to associate drinking problem with pressures, but whatever was happening was making Steve Sarkisian show up with liquor on his breath in the morning when he had the less stressful job than the one he presently has, which is Texas has all the money, Texas has all the athletes, Texas expects to be good at this, Texas has all of those boosters who help, and he has failed so far at Texas. He is one of the many who came through the great pipeline better than the Belichick tree of how do we rehab? Get near Nick Saban. Do it Cristobal, do it Kiffin, do it Sarkisian. You know how you rehab? Get next to Saban and we'll slingshot you to every great job that you want. Amazing rehab jobs. If you've been watching the careers of those three people, Cristobal, Kiffin, and Sarkisian, all of them laughed at in previous stops for a variety of different reasons. Cristobal made it back through FIU. That's the hardest way to do it. Sarkisian's in the best job. LSU's not the best job. None of the other jobs are the best job. That's the best job. He's got the best chromosomes at quarterback. That pressure is mighty. Desmond Howard saying, don't know if they're going to part ways or not. I want to ask you guys, the Saban rehab path, is it better than the Belichick tree?
Who are you asking, Amin or Zaz?
All of you.
Oh.
Thank you.
How do we what do we do with the fact that Nick Saban is from the Belichick tree?
Dun, dun, dun.
Is he from the Belichick?
Yeah, he was his DC in Cleveland.
No, like I know, but I don't know. Belichick don't ship out.
Can I ask why Cristobal doing at FIU is harder than Lane Kiffin doing at FAU?
Equally hard.
I don't understand how Cristobal needed career rehab. I don't know how he's lumped in. Like, there were real problems with Lane, real problems with Sark. It's actually kind of similar.
No, the career rehab that Cristobal needed was failure. It wasn't. That's all it was.
Okay.
It was Oregon failure, and it's how do you get.
No, your timelines are all wrong. Like, he went to FIU, then he was supposed to be in Miami, met Al Golden, said, this guy would kill my career, took a lesser job over at Alabama, got himself on Willie Taggart's staff at Oregon, became head coach when Willie Taggart went to FSU, left Oregon for Miami.
Why did Al Golden feel that way?
No. Cristobal felt that way about Al Golden.
Sorry. Okay.
Who's on first?
Regardless, being next to Nick Saban will catapult you into the sky the same way that being next to Belichick once did for an assortment of people who didn't do much with it except for Saban. Save for Saban. Is there a second? Who's second? Is it Matt Patricia making his way back through D coordinator at Ohio State? I'm dead serious.
Vrabel?
Oh, it is. Yes, I guess
He's
that.
a Belichick
But
guy.
that's a player. I mean, came up through the staff.
Yeah,
Not-
I don't think that counts. He didn't coach them, did he?
I don't know if it did. The guys who got chances were Charlie Weiss and Matt Patricia and McDaniels.
Cornell.
And Romeo Crennel. Crennel might have been the most successful of them.
Bill O'Brien maybe has had some
Yes,
success.
Yeah.
Bill O'Brien. Not really.
No,
he was
no
a-
success
he-
with Bill
he-
O'Brien?
He was
Little bit.
he was with the Texans for a long
a little
time.
bit.
Success?
And history looks back on his time and what he dealt with at Penn State as a success, and he parlayed that into the pro job.
And he's doing a really good job, BC.
Do you have?
That's that ass.
What's up, Trevor?
Do you happen to know anything? Get that sound for me, please, Chris. You can't play it enough. Bill O'Brien being angry and then chummy in a way that all of us understood the language of that. Mike, do you have any information on what's going on with Sark at Texas? Not just opinions, but information.
Well, that Diana report came out that Sark would be interested in potentially the Titans job, and the timing on that was bad for Sark. They haven't been performing well, went over like a lead balloon, checked in with sources, and that's a real thing. It's a real possibility, what Desmond said, that there might be a mutual parting of ways, which is why you heard that report of Sark to the NFL in the first place, which if I'm Lane Kiffin, doesn't seem like he's going to have much pause. That right now, all the momentum says that he's got to go to Florida potentially this week, and who knows what that does to Ole Miss's chances.
What are Ole Miss players doing? The Ole Miss players now know that their coach is gone, right?
Kewan Lacey, like he's all over the place. If you follow him on social media, he was retweeting like he's like right now. If you go to his timeline, it's positive Lane stuff, but before it's like Lane's quitting on these guys. Like it's all over the place.
I wish I could see his
but
timeline.
you're still pushing crypto. Right now, there's rumor and innuendo that Lane might actually take this job, and not just take this job, but Ole Miss might be done with him if he does take that job. And it's been handicapped by some people that are in the know. I'm not one of the people that's in the know. I've heard from people in the know. Like, they're saying he might not coach this Egg Bowl if he takes this job, if it continues to unfold the way that it is, which is pretty shocking because Ole Miss, by the very nature of being in this college football playoff and all the talent being dispersed amongst all these teams, they have a shot at a national title.
Right,
That's
Ole Miss-
forever shit.
Has Ole Miss ever been in this current position they're in right now?
I don't think so.
I
Like
don't think so.
They had last year, and for whatever reason, this loss didn't stick to Lane the way that even Syracuse
Jackson
stuck
Dart
to.
threw all the interceptions.
Yeah,
right?
in the swamp against a team that was fighting for Billy Napier, but not a good Florida team. And Ole Miss, in terms of resources, you look at that roster last year, they were absolutely loaded. But there's a managing of expectations when it comes to Ole Miss that it wasn't looked at as this huge failure the way that it probably should have been.
So the greatest programs in Ole Miss history, or the most interesting programs in Ole Miss history, do I have the graduates right? It's Favre and Manning are the greatest teams, no?
Favre went to Southern Miss.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just Manning.
Eli and Art, the senior Arch Manning.
Okay, so in the history of Mississippi football, they for 1 year went in on the Kemdiche brothers and somehow bought the number one recruit in America. But this part is interesting to me if you're someone who cares about college football and the business of college football and how these coaches get rehabbed. Because if all of these guys all of these people in coaching, if you just strip it all down to what's the point of what we're doing around here? Is it to raise young men, or is it to get the best job so that I can have the most power? Lane Kiffin being such a mercenary at this point that he would be like, I'll try to win the championship whatever year, wherever I am. Just get me the best job right now that gets me to the next thing. I don't actually care about these players, this program, this city, and or winning, really. I'll win wherever I go. Just get me the best position so that I can coach for the next 10 years.
All of this is really unfortunate, and it sucks that the timeline times out that you have to kind of fill this position if you're Florida to get momentum in recruiting because it's all about getting the guys, right? But Ole Miss is so good that it effectively nukes their season. Remember how Lane Kiffin, when he was younger, and I was looking back at some of these photos because I wanted to see images of mattresses burning, and it took me to this rabbit hole of Lane Kiffin looking like the weight of the world is on his shoulders as he's about to tell Tennessee he's leaving. He looks so young. I don't know if you guys remember 20 years ago, but it was so poorly received. And everyone's like, this immature idiot. Like, you can't leave Tennessee in this fashion. Why are you leaving Tennessee in the first place? He left to USC and it doesn't go his way. For 20 years later, after he's done so much to reshape his image, going through the Nick Saban rehabilitation program after getting fired on the tarmac from the job that he left Tennessee for him for the optics to be he is leaving a playoff team, a team that has a shot at a national title. Right before that opportunity presents itself.
Hold on.
You don't want him to repeat
Hold
the
on.
same history just because you want to see the growth in Lane Kiffin just for the optics.
No, okay, all right, but answer my question on what's real here versus perception. Not
It's
optics.
really real.
No,
Florida people feel like they have their next coach.
okay, but not optics. Let's strip down professional football to its barest greed. Lane Kiffin gets to Nick Saban rehab, and Nick's telling him all the time, hey, Lane, cap this way, not backward cap. And he's like, really? Is that what we're doing here, coach? Really? We got all the best players. Every time you and I step on the field, we look around, and our players are better than everybody's, and we know it before every game. Why wouldn't Lane Kiffin believe if he can do it at Mississippi or at FAU? Wait, you're going to get me Florida's players and money? I don't care about the championship this year. I'll win it the next 10 years. I'll build Alabama. I'll build Georgia. I can go to Florida and have all the money and all the players. I'll do it with anybody. Why wouldn't Lane Kiffin think that?
I think this timeline that Lane Kiffin is applying, and maybe it's coming from Ole Miss. He says there's no such thing as an ultimatum, but I would understand why Ole Miss would give an ultimatum.
Well, that could be semantics too, right?
Right. Well, they're trying to win a national title. And they're fully expecting to be in the college football playoff with or without Lane Kiffin. And they want somebody that's completely bought in. Remember, they're the ones being spurned here. I get where they're coming from here. But if you're Lane Kiffin, this is a contrivance. Really. You could tell Florida wants you so bad. You were so clearly the number one. If you tell them, stay at bay, let me finish this out with Ole Miss, I don't think they're going to hire somebody else. There was reports of a meeting with John Summerall that as soon as it came out, the reports were that meeting was canceled. Lane Kiffin is the only candidate right now for Florida. Everyone at Florida is so certain Lane Kiffin is going there. Why do this? Why adhere to this contrivance? So it leads me to believe that the Ole Miss thing is real. Just from how we're reading it, I laid it all out for you. Why is there this time crunch to get this thing done now? Even though Lane has made this mistake before. Mistake because the optics were so bad when he left Tennessee.
Wouldn't the time crunch just be that Florida's got all this money, we've got the better job, we're better than Mississippi. Hey, Lane, get over here. We need you to start this job.
I'm thinking the time crunch is coming more from Ole Miss.
That's what I think.
Because he's got this job. He has it there.
So
It could just be not an ultimatum. It could just be them saying, hey, can you tell us?
And I understand why Lane's doing it. Lane is the hottest name at the greatest time to be a hot name in the history of the sport. And he is looking at that place like, I've come through personal demons. I've come through what was a terrible experience in Tennessee. I went through Al Davis. This is the job for me. This is where I want to be. I can understand why the temptation is such that he's going to take this job. But, man, I just wish all the parties would understand. But that's hard to explain to Ole Miss when he's leaving you for a team that right now is a joke.
But what you're doing here that to me is most interesting, Mississippi has always been a doormat afterthought as a place, just regional identity on we're last at everything. Poverty standards, the worst things all happen in Mississippi. For Lane to come in here and play with the emotions of that, with the most mercenary of things of, I don't care about your brown lake, I can win anywhere, and I'd really rather do it near the Blue Martini because it was fun to do it at FAU, and I loved the sunshine, and my family loves the sunshine.
They just announced the Blue Martini in Fort Lauderdale is closing. They couldn't withstand Lane leaving.
They're moving it to Gainesville.
Yeah, and
the insult, the regional insult.
Lane hasn't helped his case either because he's like retweeting things like DJ Lagway is possibly sitting.
This is who you married.
Yeah, and like that's part. You're asking Lane to be like, oh, Lane, I know you love troll. It's like asking Gilbert Arenas, hey, Gilbert, could you be a little bit more kind of like demure right here? Like, no, man, this is who he is. If anything, the discomfort that Ole Miss feels is fueling Lane Kiffin. It's like that's why he goes on McAfee and he does this whole yoga and all this stuff.
Oh, but he's leaving you, and he's cutthroat mercenary, get a tan, has grown through the business parts of this, fired on the tarmac at USC, has the scars of, yes, I'm doing this as stepping stones. You don't think me an educator, do you? Like, you don't even expect me to learn from burning mattresses. I kind of like leaving burning mattresses in my wake.
Dan, take it a step further. It's like that's the kind of the positive, the silver lining on that. The dark cloud is, man, none of these jobs give a shit about any of us. Now I'm supposed to be Mrs. Feelings, like he doesn't care because he's been, as you said, not generationally been through this,
Look,
seen it, seen the
as
inner
the head
workings.
coach of that team. Look, I'm sorry to do this to you, Ole Miss. I really am. I loved when my father would call you Ole Miss anytime they put it in the teleprompter. But Lane Kiffin was always using you as a renter. Like, if the business of this sport is a bit of a brothel, like, this relationship was never real with you.
Doesn't Ole Miss know that the minute they hire him?
They knew that the minute that they hired him, and I understand why they're hurt, though, because the dynamics changed.
Well, and because they're on the cusp of a playoff.
Yeah, and that's where the dynamics changed a little bit. But I understand why Lane is doing this. It's not different than when Mario Cristobal in Oregon was a better job than Ole Miss ever was. Mario Cristobal left a team that was, I think, playing in the Pac-12 championship game at the time because his dream job came available. And for Lane Kiffin, he took your program to heights you never thought possible. Like, he is more responsible for your success than any coach in the history of your program, I would think. So maybe there's a bit of understanding, but that's hard to separate that emotion when you have a good shot at winning a national title because the talent is so evenly distributed.
Zaz, I know you're a sucker who doesn't watch a whole lot of movies, but this used to be a big trope in the 90s. The falling in love wasn't part of the plan, right? That's what happened at Ole Miss. It's like they knew it was a business relationship, and then they fell in love, and they thought it was real. And then Lane Kiffin kind of like put out a cigarette and left some cash on the bed and said, hey, you knew what this was when we started.
No, but this part, the part that's crushing is him so wildly reaching past expectations. This is this whole thing, as Lane Kiffin as boy genius, is wildly interesting because we've seen him climb through the very smallest crevices that South Florida rehab has. He made FAU a bowl team with really tiny players, and when you give him the big ones, he's pretty good. He's learned a lot in the last 15 years. The Florida job is a great one, but he will never be hotter than he is right now because he's interesting. This is the Wild West of business. He's perfectly equipped, having learned business at 30s from the Davises, who will give all the power to Tom Brady to please help me, boy genius. Please teach me football things.
And the presumption is his shtick flies at Florida better than anywhere else because even though they had success with Urban Meyer, that is a Spurrier town.
He loves Spurrier, Kiffin.
Yeah. But the whole thing, this carefree, perfect tan, walking into that city, it's wonderful, but Mississippi's betrayal here, because you're sitting here talking about the coldness of the relationship. This regional identity, what do you mean we can be this close to being the best and you can do it with Trinidad Chambliss? Like, what do you mean we can come close? Mississippi knows that they have a team that can beat anybody. That's crazy. And it's not even because Mississippi's that good. It's because everyone else is kind of Mississippi. Like, Zazzle, you can speak to what's happening at the top of the sport where Louisville looks good one week and then doesn't look another week. Lane Kiffin has built something that is good enough to beat anybody, and Mississippi never gets to be that.
No, it's a crapshoot, and Ole Miss right now would have a home game to start out the playoffs. Like, they have a home game, and then they'd be 2 wins away from playing for the national championship.
Also the inferiority complex, right? Yeah. Ole Miss is sitting here saying, well, what's so good about them? We're pretty good too. Look at it. And it's like, no, you're not.
Well, and you look at Florida, who has 3 wins right now.
But imagine that, like being told, yeah, you're hot, but that's Florida.
I'll tell you, you know what's bullshit, man? You saying that I'm not a good movie guy. I'm a great movie guy.
You're not. There's so many
you're wrong.
fundamental movies that you
haven't watched.
Why,
I haven't seen Dodgeball?
That's
Whatever.
crazy, by the way. When I heard that from the show yesterday, that's nuts.
Today. Who cares?
You're a movie guy?
I'm a great movie guy.
No, you're not.
Great movie guy?
You're not a great movie guy. You haven't seen any James Bond movies.
Oh, well, whatever, man. I could definitely come up with movies that you haven't seen.
Like what?
I haven't seen every movie.
Name one.
Yo, there's too many to name.
Name one.
Name one. Name a movie you haven't seen.
Name a
Yes.
movie. So you're claiming that anyone can throw a movie of any kind at you, and you
Human
have seen
Centipede.
them all.
Of course, I've seen Human Centipede. My point is that Zaz, maybe not anyone, but Zaz cannot sit here and say, I watched a movie that Amin hasn't watched. You haven't watched freaking Dodgeball.
Okay, you keep coming back to
Well,
Dodgeball.
no, but
James Bond.
Saz, the part that where he has you here, I think we have 3 cinephiles in our universe who believe themselves to have watched more film than the rest of you. I believe it's Adnan. I don't know who wins here. Samson probably wins, but Amin might think himself in this company. Amin, Samson, and Adnan really are movie guys, and you're a bit like Cody, where if you haven't seen a couple of fundamental things, you're
What an
disqualified.
insult.
You're disqualified from being in the conversation. Amin does a weekly podcast that he's seen all your bad movies. When you throw Centipede at him, that's nothing to Amin.
What are you talking about, man? Paul Blart Mall Cop is an episode that came out today. I had to watch that. Guess what? That's the second Paul Blart movie I've watched. Do you know?
I've seen them both.
Do you know that Paul Blart, in the first 6 days of DVD sales, they made $29 million? 6 days, $29 million. That's moving units, my friend.
I had secondhand embarrassment from that movie. The scene where he gets really hammered in the bar.
Oh
yeah.
And he starts hitting on the girl.
I had major second. I didn't like that scene. I couldn't handle it.
But are you walking back from the position that you want to do a movie pod with Amin because you have as much movie knowledge as he does? Because he's disrespectful of your lack
It
of
was
movie
very
knowledge.
disrespectful. You threw it out there like it was nothing. I know I'm a great movie guy.
We're not, first of all, Dan, we're not doing a movie pod. I can't do a pod with someone who does not know shit about the subject material.
I'm not doing a
And
movie pod with you.
No, I'm just saying, like,
I felt that way
it would be
first.
such a waste of my time.
I would
it would
never
be such
do
a
movie
waste of
pod
my
with
time.
you. I thought this like minutes ago, way before you thought that. I would never do a movie pod with you. Don't ask me. Don't ask me to do it. I won't do it with you.
You're late. Have you seen The Godfather? I got to ask questions like that to this guy.
Yo, like, are you trying to insult me?
I'm just trying to figure out. You're a guy who doesn't watch movies, so I don't want to assume things. Have you seen Casino?
Don't ask me questions like I'm a sucker, okay? Ask
You are
me
a sucker.
Godfather, Casino.
I'm sorry. You exhibit the behaviors of a sucker. How about that?
Don't ask me questions that are insulting.
You know, Garth Brooks turned down a role in Saving Private Ryan because he didn't want to share the screen with Tom Hanks and Matt Damon. He wanted to be the star. Spielberg countered that by saying, well, what do you want to be? I want to be a villain. Earlier in the process, he got sent the script to Twister, and he's like, I'm not going to be in this. Why? Because the villain is the Twister.
That's a good point.
Did you know that? I mean, I knew that.
Yeah, have you seen Twisters?
Yeah.
Have you seen Twisters?
Yeah. I like that movie, Twist. Is that Glenn Powell? I like him.
Okay, this movie pod that I now want to put together, sponsored by Metal Lark, is it all going to be, Zaz, have you seen this? Because you're
Yes.
really disrespectful of his movie knowledge.
I don't respect him at all in the movie space. I have zero respect.
I don't respect you in the movie space. I
I
actually
can't-
thought that a few minutes ago. I thought that before you just said
wait
that.
a minute. No, you got to respect Amin in the movie space.
I don't. I don't have to.
He works at it. It's,
Okay.
He really pours himself into it.
I don't even have to work at it.
Dan, why would I respect someone who so clearly disrespects the medium when he hasn't seen such
Yeah,
classics
right. I love
like
the medium.
Dodgeball?
I'm a great movie guy.
Well, he wants you to come up with another insult other than James Bond and Dodgeball.
Yeah,
but
my God.
I'm
See
willing.
Phenomenon?
I'm willing.
Yes.
Who's
movie
in it?
Sucks.
Who's in it?
John Travolta movie sucks.
What's the story?
Yo, I don't need to explain
gonna
the
take a
plot's a
quiz.
phenomenon to you.
Didn't he have a stroke?
He's got like a disease, but like he thinks that he's like special. Stupid movie, man.
Yeah.
I don't need to remember
Chasing
a stupid
Amy?
movie.
What's Chasing Amy about?
Chasing Amy's a great movie.
What's it
Kidding
about?
me? She's a lesbian, and they do finger cuffs. You know about the finger cuffs? That's all I need to say. You know about finger cuffs.
You watch Collateral?
Nah, I've never seen Collateral.
Oh, that's a great one.
I know, I've never seen it. I know.
You see Minority Report?
Of course, great movie. Love Minority.
Have you seen
Report.
Clifford with Martin Short?
Yo, don't ask me stupid questions.
It's a good movie.
Can we do? You know about that where you play it with Amin, but Amin plays it with you on the movies? Because I'd be willing to sponsor and fund the podcast of Amin asking you whether you've seen movies and then getting mad that you haven't seen very basic movies. Because I do believe if we keep doing this, that Amin will put in front of you 150 movies that he will have expected you to see, and then would not respect your movie opinion because you hadn't seen those movies. Like, I think Amin's going to be right here, that there are many things that you haven't seen because Amin has committed himself over the last 10 years so much to watching so many shitty movies.
I mean, that sounds like a waste of time that Amin needs to actually commit so much of his time to become a movie expert. This exercise is going to earn my respect of Amin. That's what this exercise is going to be, not the other way around.
Is it? No, because it doesn't sound like it can be had, because it doesn't sound like you want to hear any of his movie
Anything's
opinions.
possible.
But I do believe Amin to know a great deal more about movies than most people.
I do. You know why? Because I watch a shit ton of movies.
I do too.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
What you know about that English Patient?
I would never watch The English Patient. That movie looks boring as hell. I would never watch that.
I think it won Best Picture.
I would whatever. Oh, because boring movies never won Best Picture. What are you, crazy?
Beautiful Mind?
No, I don't want to watch that.
It won Best Picture.
Boring as hell. Who cares? That movie was boring as hell.
It was good.
Beautiful Mind.
Ron Howard.
What about him?
He directed it.
Okay, Russell Crowe.
Yeah, he won. I think
Are we just
he won.
naming people who are in Beautiful Mind? Is that the exercise now?
Jennifer Connelly was nominated.
Who cares?
Best eyebrows.
Jennifer Connelly. I like her.
She was. You know about that Rocketeer?
Although I didn't like the last scene with her in Requiem for a Dream. I didn't like that.
You know that there will be blood? What you know about that?
One of the best movies ever.
No Country for Old Men?
Yeah, No Country for Old Men's good.
Citizen Kane?
I don't believe him
Yes.
on that one.
Apocalypse
You
Now?
don't believe in No Country for Old Men? Ask me something.
What's
Ask me
the
something.
what's the weapon
Ask
of
me
choice?
about Sugar.
Yeah, what's a weapon?
He's got the thing that pops out. It's not a name. There's not a name for that thing.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Is there a name for that thing that Shakur popped out?
It's not a name.
There's not a name.
He made it like in his garage.
It's a cattle thing. It should have a name. What is that thing? One of the scariest weapons in the history of the movies.
What you know about that pianist?
Yeah, I know about it. Adrian Brody. Very
Go
young.
on, yeah,
very,
like
very young Anna Paquin.
I think that was the piano. The very young Anna Paquin was the piano, not the pianist. We
That's a
caught
fraud.
your ass.
He's a fraud.
You don't know about that pianist.
I used to. Do you or do you not know about that pianist?
It
Do
was
you
the
or do-
piano.
Do you or do you not?
Admission coming. Admission coming. I lied about the pianist. That was a lie.
How many other lines are in there?
I used to think Mina Kimes was the biggest fraud when it came to movies because, you know, if you asked Mina about a movie, she said yes, but she's just read the Wikipedia. She's never actually watched it. This guy hasn't even taken the step of reading the Wikipedia.
That's right, because I don't need to fake it.
Adventures of Pluto Nash?
No, I would never watch that. Who cares?
Norbit?
I would never watch that. Why is my movie... Why does my movie credibility come from you have to see as many awful movies as possible?
1,000 Words?
I never even heard of that.
Soul Man?
No, I don't want to watch Soul Man.
Why not?
You're an ally?
White Man's Burden?
Yeah, I've seen that. That
Who's
movie's
in
not
it?
good.
Who's in it?
Samuel Jackson.
No.
No. What is that? Black Snake Moan.
Oh, yeah. I never seen that. That's
Harry
Christina
Belafonte?
Ricci. I don't like that.
Harry Belafonte, yes.
No.
Wait, you made that reference. Yo, you know about that Beetlejuice?
Of course.
Beetlejuice 2?
I haven't seen Beetlejuice yet.
Fraud.
Whatever, man. Living my life here. I don't have time to see everything.
Well, it can't be, though. Look, he just called you a fraud, and it can't be whatever, man. I got to live my life. I don't care about movies the way you do. He's testing.
That's my point.
But to say I'm not a good movie guy, that's just a lie.
No, but
Very young Anna Paquin.
he's testing.
No, I lied about that one.
How many others did you lie about? though?
Am I ashamed or embarrassed about that? Maybe both.
Embarrassed, not shamed.
Dan, you know who's a movie guy? Roy's a movie guy. You know who's a movie guy? Mike's a movie guy. You know who's a movie guy? Jeremy's a movie guy.
And musical theater.
You know who else is a movie guy? Chris is a movie guy. You know who else is a movie guy? Dan is a movie guy. You know who's not a movie guy? You seen Rambo?
You know I haven't seen Rambo.
Oh, you ever seen I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker?
No.
Well, it's about you.
And they got you.
I'd listen to that pod just asking Zaslow, have you seen this? Yes, I've seen this. Good movie. And that's his analysis. or not a good movie, or he's just lying about having seen the movie.
We got to hit him up. There's got to be a limited number of follow-ups. Can't just have follow-ups until the end of the day, but we got to have a limited number of follow-ups just to try to determine whether he's actually seen the movie or not.
I would say, though, Zaslow, like, this was interesting. I would say that what he's just done to you is he has made Dodgeball a movie that if you have not seen it, it disqualifies you from giving movie opinions.
Why? Why is that the movie? Dodgeball. Who cares?
But I think that's what happened. Am I wrong about this? I didn't think you had this strong opinion about Zaslow until that happened.
You know what? It's the crown jewel of all of it. It started with he's never seen Rambo, which I was like, oh, but it's an older movie. Okay, it checks out, right? Then it turned into haven't seen the James Bond movies. Well, okay, some of them are old, but some of them are pretty new and were big deals. Well,
I'd like to see the James Bond.
But then when it hit Dodgeball, because Dan, there was a very me and Zaz are not that far apart in age. There's a very seminal era of movies: Wedding Crashers, Old School, Hangover, Dodgeball. Like all those movies came out around the same time. They featured what they called the Brat Pack. That's what they called them. They called them the Brat Pack. Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson and Ben Stiller and all these guys.
I think it was a different name, like the Slack Pack
That
or something
Knicks
like
fan
that.
loser?
Yeah, Brat Pack was the 80s.
Oh yeah, some shit like
Thank
that.
you, Roy.
Anyways.
And a very young Anna Paquin.
And a very young Anna Paquin. But the point is, for him to just have like a blind spot to this strong decade of just banger movies, I know I can't respect him as a movie person. I can respect him in other ways. As a soda drinker, I respect him. But like not as a movie person, no.
I'm sorry that we've arrived there. The Reaper has been angry for a while. I've thrown a lot of requests at video today. I will get to that in a second. And I've thrown a lot at Chris Cody today, who has tuned out most of the show, but did find Bill O'Brien an hour later trying to go after Trevor and others because this is audio worth replaying.
Coach, I'm wondering, do you have a message for the fans? Obviously losing to Notre Dame, Catholic school rival, 1-8 now in the season of BC. I've heard from a lot of fans that just really.
Yeah, I'm really glad. You know, I'm glad you're down. I'm not down. Nobody's down. We're fighting. We're competing. You know, it's the second year of this program, Mike. You always come in here with these down questions. Like you show up like once a month or something like that. You come in here with these down questions. I'm not down. I don't know what year you graduated from BC, but this is a program that we're building. Nobody here's down. We're positive. We're going to show up and play our asses off against SMU. You can go out there in your dark, clouded world or whatever it is and do what you want to do. We're not down. The sun is up, and we're fighting. That's my message to the fans. What's up, Trevor?
How you doing?
I mean, you know that can happen in any media environment where the coach will absolutely go after the guy with dismissive condescension who's only there once a month. The guy, Trevor's there every day.
What's up, Trevor?
Trevor is not once a month. Trevor's not once every 2 weeks.
What's up, Trevor?
Trevor's earned Bill O'Brien's love and respect.
Here's the guy who's here all the
Trevor
time.
shows up every day to watch shitty BC football.
What's up, Trevor?
What do you think the look on Trevor's face was? Did he look at Mike and go,
Yes, yes, that's right. Mike, you show up, downer Mike, you show up once a month. You get out of your news van, and instead of a microphone, you've got a brush.
What's up, Trevor?
You're not here once. You're not here twice a day listening to shitty Bill O'Brien press conferences.
What's up, Trevor?
100%. This is like the local news guy, where the local news shows up only when things are a disaster
Like,
at
what's up,
whatever
Will
program.
Manso? What's
yeah,
up, Will Manso?
this is go over to the Heat. Manso's around,
Manso's
right?
there every
but
game.
if you get some random
Jim Barry's
third
here.
reporter from Jim Barry would be the perfect example actually. Who's
Greg
not,
Cody.
He's not leaving the studio.
What's up,
but Jim
Ira?
Barry's showing up. But yep, what's up, Ira? What's up, Anthony Chang?
Chang,
What's
yeah.
up, Tim Reynolds?
Spo being like, Greg Cody, you show up for the first playoff. You show up for opening night and the first playoff game. That's it.
What's up, Trevor?
Look, I thank you for producing this little wonderful sound from Bill O'Brien that is absolutely a different language that the old ball coach has with who's showing up for my shitty shoot around and listening to what I have to say after that. I assure you it's Trevor. Trevor's there every day listening to shitty Bill O'Brien press conferences.
What's up,
Trevor, Bill O'Brien, later in life, Bill O'Brien will have Trevor's phone number and they will have a beer somewhere.
Or 3.
What's up, Trevor?
does Trevor leave an apple on the podium every morning before
What's
the
up,
press
Trevor?
conference?
He's a hero, Trevor.
What's up, Trevor?
Bill O'Brien feels bad for Trevor. That's what it is. If you're here in the trenches with us, watching these shitty practices where I know you don't want to be here, we don't want you here, we're going through this song and dance of all these questions. What's up, Trevor?
What's up, Trevor?
He's like Bill Belichick at that cheerleading competition.
What's up,
Gutting it
Trevor?
out.
What's up, Barry Jackson?
Bill O'Brien. I don't want to do that yet. I want to.
What's up, Trevor?
I want to stay on Bill O'Brien.
What's up, Trevor?
And Bill O'Brien is going to work every day, and this is what Bill O'Brien's saying.
What's up, Trevor?
No. I was standing next to Belichick. I was at the top of this mountain. Now I'm at BC football. Look how they're talking about Lane. He was a clown when I was a champion. But now look how they're talking about Lane. I'm trying to make the way back, and it's not the easy way. It's not through that Saban rehab program. It's through the Catholics at
What's
Boston
up, Trevor?
College, the shitty Catholic school that'll never win anything. I was James Franklin. I was James Franklin once.
What's up, Trevor?
Does Boston College have to kick up to the Vatican?
Less so. Pennies.
What's up, Trevor?
This poor Reaper's been waiting for 20 minutes.
Reaper got shorter.
Ground to dust by the last 20 minutes of waiting for this show.
It's The Bucket, and it's presented by Dentech's Ultimate Fantasy Football Punishment. Learn more and sign your league up at dentech.com.
The Dentech Bucket is every week. I have the golden helmet of life. No one is happy for me. Jeremy's going to go first. We are thankful to Dentech as a sponsor, and I am especially thankful to Dentech because it got rid of headaches because of my jaw
Put your
grinding.
mouthpiece in if you want to talk.
Sorry.
I have the Seattle Seahawks. Dan has told me over and over again it's great. They're at the Tennessee Titans. I am
You should throw that back.
That's an automatic win.
Minus, they're favored by 13.5 points.
on the road.
You sure Anna Paquin wasn't in the pianist?
She was in piano.
Fraud.
What's up, Trevor?
The Seahawks are 7-3 and the best team in the sport.
Miami Dolphins.
Oh, wow. Best time to have them.
Wow. Good time.
Nobody's happy for you. Your nipple dance is not embraced by anybody.
What's up, Trevor?
Your shoulder shaking is not celebrated by anyone.
What's up, Trevor?
I like the rummage. I have the Colts.
The Colts are at the Chiefs.
At
They're
Arrowhead.
3.5 point
Waterloo
favorite.
game.
So, I mean, help me with this because I wanted Nick Wright. I wanted to make a bet on this game, but he's too shook. So, before the end of the show today, help me figure out what the Chiefs Colts bet needs to be so that you have some consequences on keeping that helmet.
Well, first of all, I need to find out. Have you seen Eraser?
What movie?
Eraser.
I can't understand it.
Eraser. With Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Eraser?
Yeah.
Vanessa Williams.
With Schwarzenegger,
A
right?
racer?
I love how he saved the best for last.
Have you seen all the Schwarzenegger movies? How many? What percentage of? No, you said of course, but have you seen Eraser?
You ever seen Escape Room?
Escape Plan, you fraud.
Right, Escape Plan with
Escape Room.
Schwarzenegger.
Get out of here.
You're an
I'm putting this back, by the way.
Sucker like behavior.
Putting the Colts back.
You're a sucker.
What's up, Trevor?
You're a sucker.
You're putting a 3.5 point favorite?
Oh, they're underdogs.
Lions.
You got the Giants at home. Good
Oh,
pull,
yeah,
boy.
baby.
Put that back.
The Colts are 3.5. They're 3-point dogs at the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs are favored at home, 3.5 by 3.5
You
points.
can't put back a second pull, you
You
sucker.
took the Lions?
Doing a lot of
The
stuff.
Giants, I think he had.
I don't
The
like
Giants or the
Was
Lions?
it Lions or Giants?
Lions.
Oh, my.
My
The
bad.
Lions.
Roy, what do you got?
Jets.
Hey,
up,
new
Trevor?
quarterback. At Baltimore.
Jets
Tyrod
are
Taylor.
No.
13.5 point dog at Baltimore.
The Rams.
Oh, you got Baker.
Yeah, they're at home a 6.5 point favorite
a big
against Tampa
favorite.
Bay.
I mean,
fun game.
this
Tampa's
Bucs
busted
schedule
up.
sucks.
They're broken.
I hate it.
Is that who's seen Inception?
Of course, great movie.
I got the Falcons
I'll bet you don't even
at
understand
New
it.
Orleans.
That's
Kirk Cousins.
Putting that back.
Why is that in the 4 o'clock window?
Wow, playing the Saints and you have to put
You're
it back.
scared of the
Can we
Saints.
flex that
Tyler
out?
Shaw.
I got the worst helmet, the Titans. I'm a 13-point underdog
God,
at home.
Brad.
I am having an awful year.
You still owe 2 punishments.
I've done a bunch of punishments. I still owe 2, and I have
I'm
the
going to look at your
Titans.
record.
Is that who's seen Remember the Titans?
Of course. Last play is so stupid. That's why I don't like that movie. I'll bet you like that play.
This 4 o'clock window is gross.
Why is Indianapolis KC 1 o'clock?
I had the Bears.
The Bears are 7-3. They are at home 2.5-point favorite against Aaron Rodgers with a broken wrist.
Have you seen Bad News Bears?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep Bears.
Yeah, it's a good keep.
Of course, I've seen Bad News Bears.
You seen the remake?
You know about that Kelly Lee?
You seen
Golden
the remake?
helmet.
Yeah, remake not good.
You're just saying that. You ain't seen that. I could tell.
No, I saw it. It's not good.
What are you doing this sucker the time of day?
It's not good.
He's a
Who did
stalker.
Dan get?
He's a golden helmet of life.
I believe Zaz
yeah.
is a liar and a fraud here. I believe he's hiding a smile behind his mouthpiece because he's been exposed this segment as a person who is not a movie expert. He's
I haven't been exposed. I'm just trying not to embarrass him.
He's called you a fraud to your face.
Good teammate.
He doesn't respect your movie opinions. He has undressed you in front of everybody.
Not in the slightest. You seen the full Monty?
No.
Neither have I.
What? You never seen the full Monty?
No, I'm getting to it.
Miami does care, even if we do not always act like it. So until midnight tonight, we'd like you to be a part of what it is that we're doing. I know a lot of you don't listen to the show live. You listen to it later in the day. So we have until midnight tonight to raise money for GiveMiamiDay.org. I know Ron McGill will tell you that there are a lot of extraordinary people in our community who do a lot of community-minded things to help, but rare among them over many decades is Dave Lawrence, the publisher, or the former publisher of the Miami Herald. And what he does on this day for Miami is extraordinary. It is exhaustive, and it is not easy to raise $40 million from over 50,000 donors for things that people often don't care about, whether it's the arts or museums or an autism theater project or, the Philip and Patricia Frost Museum of Science. There are any number of things in South Florida worth donating to, and one of them is Zoo Miami's Ron McGill's endowment, his substantive endowment that you guys, our listeners, have given more money to than anything. I don't know, actually, Ron, if you're involved with GiveMiamiDay.org. Are you? You know Dave Lawrence, right?
I know Dave Lawrence. I've already donated to Dave in his honor. Rita and I have both done that. And listen, guys, like I've always told people, I love what I do with the animals, and the endowment is very important. But there's no single animal life that's more important than a human life. And human aid needs to always take priority. And in this time and age, there's so many people that need help. So though I appreciate if you have anything extra, you can go to the Zoo Miami Foundation and donate for that. But, if you got to set a priority, make sure you're doing things like for people like David Lawrence, who are really helping the core of our community. And at the end of the day, by him doing what he does, those kids, those families can hopefully grow up to be conservation warriors themselves.
GiveMiamiDay.org is where you go. Where you been, Ron? We have missed you.
I appreciate it. I've been in Patagonia. I did one last trip with the family. The two kids are now in their 20s and 30s, and before they have, married significant others and they have careers taking off, I wanted one last trip with just the four of us. So I wanted to go to the end of the earth, and I did that with just an amazing trip. I mean, from glaciers and mountains to cliffs and beaches and elephant seals fighting in pumas, hunting, and God, it was amazing. Condors, it was just amazing.
Zaslow, what would you like to hear as highlights from this trip? When Ron McGill says a trip was amazing, he's been all over the world and alleged to have seen any number of amazing things. Are you interested about what the most interesting or amazing thing he saw on this trip was, or not really?
I mean, the thing that hits me, because I feel like I'm about to go through it with my older son, like the idea that you are doing one last trip with just, your family, the four of you, that kind of bums me out. Like, were you bummed out at all?
I wasn't bummed out. I would be bummed out if I wasn't able to do it, but I made it very clear to all the kids, listen, I'm paying for this. It's out of my pocket. This is the last time you're on the payroll for a trip, because the next time we go, I know they're going to want to bring their significant others and stuff. And I said, I'm not paying for that. I'm not paying for that. I wanted one last trip and appreciate it with just the four of us. I think sometimes we don't do that enough. And we have always traveled together, the four of us. But like I said, one lives in California now. One is working here doing a bunch of different things. And they're all out of the house. Have been out of the house for years now. And my wife and I just wanted one. Listen, I cannot overstate how nice it is to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner with just the four of us every day for 2 weeks.
Ron, can you believe that Zaz has never seen March of the Penguins?
What?
Okay, that's not
Zaz,
true.
What rock are you living under, brother?
Oh, my God. Ron, he's totally making that up. He never asked me, and I happen to have seen March of the Penguins.
I don't believe him.
I don't believe he's seen Happy Feet, and he thinks that's March of the Penguins.
Okay, who narrates March of the Penguins, Zaz?
A young Anna Paquin.
Oh, no.
No, absolutely not. It's Morgan Freeman. You're a liar. You didn't see the movie.
Oh, no. You didn't know the answer to that question.
Oh, my God.
He's being
Morgan
revealed as
Freeman.
a fraud, a movie fraud here in front of
That's
us all.
He's a movie fraud right there.
GiveMiamiDay.org. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. If you don't know that Morgan Freeman narrated March of the Penguins, are you a movie fraud? Yes or no? And also at Le Batard Show, if you haven't seen Dodgeball, should all your movie opinions be disqualified?
Ron, a week ago, a bird of prey landed in my backyard, and I did some Googling. I'm pretty sure it was a red-tailed hawk. Then, For the next 2 days after that, my dog was afraid to go on the grass. She even went to the bathroom one time on my patio. She never displayed that behavior before. She's since gone to the grass, but are the two things related?
How big is your dog, Mike?
My dog is a medium-sized whippet.
Yeah. Well, those are not the most courageous dogs to begin with. That's why they're so fast. They're right next with the greyhound there as far as their running capability goes, because they're used to being run after instead of running towards something. But having said that, it could be related. They could sense, listen, we're in the winter season now. As we get into the winter, more and more birds of prey are coming through here as a migration. The South Florida is kind of the funnel of the migration route into Central and South America for all the birds of prey that are now coming out of the north. So we're going to see a lot more hawks, falcons, kestrels, things like that now. Not that that red-tailed hawk would have gone after your whippet, but I'm sure an instinct in the whippet made it aware of its presence and said, listen, let's be safe than sorry.
Zaz, you seen Birds of Prey?
That's with Margot Robbie. That's Harley Quinn. Of course I've seen that. What's the matter with you?
Look at that. His credentials are getting stronger. And so that's scent-based. How rare is it, Ron?
The bird did poop.
Yeah, I was going to say, so the bird poops, and now the dog knows to be afraid of the area because the scent tells the dog that it's a meatloaf in the wild.
No, I don't think it's as much that. I think it was probably much more either visual or audio, because the hawks will constantly call, and animals pick that call up all the time. Not to mention the visual. Remember, your dog has much better sight than you do, and they're noticing any kind of movement, any kind of different kind of thing in the yard. That's how they survive. So that's probably what it was. I don't think it's
but it's a threat. It's a threat, and the dog's a coward.
That particular dog, yeah, it's not the most aggressive, fighter of dogs. Let's leave it that way. Wow. It's a very thin, very agile, fast-running dog, but not necessarily a fighter.
Run because it's afraid, because it's a coward.
Are we just trying to label Mike's dog as a coward?
That's exactly what they're
doing.
You
did it.
You did it, Ron. Table for that.
No, what I said was that dog is not bred to fight. That dog is not bred to hunt as much as it is to run.
From things, because it's a coward.
Okay. All right. Stop. It's very rude. She's very old.
Listen, I tip my hat to you for raising her.
You did not tip your hat.
Didn't even try. Ron, there's a house in my neighborhood that when the birds come home to roost, they all sit on top of just that house. Why?
It's a bad sign.
Listen, that's pure speculation. I couldn't tell you exactly why that is, other than, is somebody putting bird feed out? Is somebody putting out seed?
No.
Is that house next to a fruit tree or something that provides any kind of source? Does it provide shade? Does it provide shade, for instance, when the sun is setting? Does that tree provide a block from that sun setting? No. Or is it the other way around? As the winter comes around, is it a metal roof that can radiate heat that the birds enjoy? Or it's so many different reasons.
It's like a planned community, so that the roofs are all the same. All of them have like fruit trees and stuff like that, but they always sit just at this one house, and it's not. I don't see them feeding. I don't see them swarming. They're just there chilling at the end of the day, just all sitting together.
It's hard to say. Probably one of the alpha birds, so to speak, may have picked that tree. You can go into the Everglades, for instance, and every night all these egrets and ibis will come and roost on one tree that looks like it's no different than any other tree, but every night they come back to that same tree. And I don't know why that is. Is it more protected from predation? Does it provide them with some kind of shade or barrier from wind or whatever? There's so many things, so many variables that would be pure speculation. But there's obviously something about it.
When we talk, the weather in South Florida is ridiculous. I've been talking to some of my friends who are in rain and snow.
Your weather friends?
Shoveling snow, yes. Some friends from New York who are, yes, my weather friends. and what South Florida has right now in terms of weather is completely absurd. It's beautiful, and it's why so many people are here. When a bird of prey is flying through here this time of year, how rare is it for it to grab a pet, a cat, a small dog,
small fart, a pet?
Oh.
Let's
go! Yeah, good job, good job. Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Right over my head. I guess it's an inside joke.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Can you answer my question, please, Ron?
It's very rare that a bird of prey will go after a small pet. Extremely rare. Now, if you have one of these, ridiculous like teacup Yorkies or something like that, a little miniature Chihuahua or something like that, yeah, a great horned owl,
A cat.
No, I just don't see a bird of prey, short of an eagle going after a cat, at least an adult cat. Kittens, sure. Kittens could be subject to almost any bird of prey of medium size. But generally speaking, no. Your pets, unless, like say, they're the extreme designer teacup breeds that could easily substitute for a rat, then you've got a problem. Anything from a rabbit size on down, absolutely, there's a certain risk there.
Let me get to some video here. You are not an insect or bug expert, but you're always talking to us about how animals have an incredible strength. Now, I don't think this is AI, but this video here of a bug holding on to the side of an airplane, successfully holding on to the side of an airplane, is that real? What is happening there with the physics of that, as the speed of that those arms should not be strong enough to be Tom Cruise in the Mission Impossible movies. What's happening here?
Well, they can be strong enough to do that. They have very fine little hooks, so to speak, on the ends of their feet, their legs, and though you don't notice it because it's so minute, glass does have a lot of little fissures in it that they're able to grasp onto that way. So that's not, I believe that's probably true. And I think eventually that thing just blew off. But yes, it is pretty spectacular to watch it there.
It did blow off. And did it blow off to its death?
No, not at all. That can fly. That was the type of katydid. And it basically has wonderful wings that basically opened them up as soon as it fell out of the plane and came down to earth like a little parachute.
What a stupid question from Dan. No, it's a bird, you idiot.
Oh, no, I'm falling. Oh, wait, I can fly.
Oh, I remember. My nature as a bird.
Well, also, listen, in deference to Dan, it could have been an insect that doesn't fly. A lot of insects don't fly.
These guys are making it a bird. I thought it was an insect. I didn't think that was a bird.
Okay. It's a katydid. It's an insect.
Same
thing. To your point, katydids do have wings that are disguised, so you don't see them like you would see the wings of a fly or a wasp or a butterfly.
That's a bird.
So you can kind of see the wings kind of flapping a little bit in the wind there.
Bird.
But there are insects that don't have wings. Listen, I don't do this.
Bird-ass insect.
I'm going to defend Dan here. There are insects that don't have wings. Having said that, had it fallen off of the plane, because of the size of the insect and the basically, the resistance it would have in the wind and having an ectoskeleton, it would likely still survive a fall.
That's right. It's like dropping an ant from the Empire State Building. The ant just lands like Captain America would.
Yeah,
there you go. The
that's
wind
a bird.
Kind of blows them out.
I think that's a toucan.
Yeah. Okay. You also thought that what's her name narrated March of the Penguins?
Yeah, he did.
You ever seen Two for the Money?
Pac-Man.
You ever
You
seen
have
Two for
lost
the
all
Money, Zaz?
credibility, brother.
I want you to be John Anthony.
God, I'm missing a lot of the inside
No,
jokes.
his credibility is getting stronger now when he's answering some of Amin's supposedly difficult quiz questions.
They're not difficult.
With impersonations.
It's not difficult. I'm just throwing the softballs that this loser, this sucker, be swinging and missing on.
Hey, guys, before we go any further, I want to let you know we finally got our 2 new lions in. So if anybody's down in Miami, you want to come to the zoo, our 2 boys are back out. The boys are back in town. So lions are back at Zoo Miami. Royalty has returned.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Zaz, you ever seen The Ghost in the Darkness?
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Did you see it, Zaz? You see it?
Doesn't seem like
that was a good one.
It doesn't seem like Zaz saw it.
That was a great film, Zaz.
I know.
What was it about?
The line. It was about darkness. Shit was dark.
Can we get to some more video for Ron McGill here, please? Let's see what we have here. We are going, let's see what we have here. This is a buffalo charging a tourist, or is this a shark? Okay, this is a buffalo charging a tourist. What is this?
A moron in Yellowstone trying to get too close to bison, and all of a sudden he gets charged. Oh, wow, surprise, surprise. Natural selection, brother, natural selection.
All right, let me see the next video that we have here. Is this, okay, this is a crocodile, or is this a crocodile? Yeah, this is a crocodile. What do we have?
No, I think that's an alligator, guys. No, I can't see no, it looks like an alligator.
But what's the fish tail? Why does it have
it's got like a fin.
Why does that have a tail that's a fin?
That's obviously some kind of either genetic deformity or AI. but it's just it's a deformity. It's very possible that the tail just splayed out and grew that deformity there. Or like I say, I don't know if I could believe anything I see on the internet these days.
Okay, but let's believe that, for the purposes of what we're doing on this show, let's pretend that everything we've got here is an AI, is not fake. So what is this? Why is this happening here?
It's just a deformity. It's a genetic mutation.
No. Next up on our list. Tell us what's happening here as this cattle, I guess. What is happening with
cattle in Ireland were transported on a boat and dove into the water to swim to their grazing pasture.
Okay. I guess you can't bring that boat too close to shore. This is a first for me. I've never seen that.
I didn't have cows jumping
or swimming.
Yeah, I've never. No, they can swim. That's not an unbelievable fact. You can see them swimming, but I don't understand the purpose of bringing a boat and then making them jump out into the water.
Can horse swim?
Horses can swim as well.
Nice.
Almost all mammals can swim.
Well, they're transporting the cattle from island to island, and I guess they couldn't dock there on that island.
They couldn't dock the boat. Okay,
horses? Did you mean horses?
You treat it like
you guys
deer?
have enlightened me.
Zaz, you seen Seabiscuit?
No, listen, I've ridden a horse while it swam. I mean, I've been on the back of a horse while it was swimming.
While it was swimming with nothing below its feet.
With horse?
Yeah, a horse.
That's horse.
Thank you, Ron.
What are all of these juvenile, infantile?
It's Chris Cody. I think Chris Cody tried to make the plural of horses. Horse. And it's not the dumbest thing he's ever done.
Thank you.
I guess.
I called an insect a bird.
Welcome back, Ron.
Ron, welcome back. We have missed you.
Ron.
Yes. We've got sounds. Miami.
Miami.
Give Miami Day is today, and they sent us a bunch of stuff to make noises. Your we isn't sincere.
There you go.
Thank you, Ron. We appreciate your time. And
Dave Lawrence.
Dave
Lawrence. Support Dave Lawrence. Take care.
Genuinely happy to have you back. And yes, I don't know how many of you in our audience know truly philanthropic people who, despite whatever the politics of the day are really just trying to be about the right things. But Dave Lawrence, the former publisher of the Miami Herald, has been a giant of a man in our community for a long time, doing a lot of things for people that a whole lot of other people do not care about. If today you are feeling any kind of generous with excess money, and I do know that these times are difficult for people, and I also know that inflation is a total insanity that is making it very hard to give. So if you do not have money to give, I do not shame you for this. But if you have some excess money and you don't know where to put it, and you want something that I'm assuming these donations are tax deductible, and I'm assuming that this kind of giving is something that will cost you less than it might if it were not tax deductible. So GiveMiamiDay.org is going on until midnight tonight. We will check in with Tony again in a little bit here from Lone Depot Park. But please give if you can, because there are a lot of organizations. You don't even have to look it up. These people are doing good things. This is a good person that I know to be doing good things for many, many years in this community for a whole bunch of people that other people do not care about. And so I could not vouch for him more strongly in these terms as a giver to this community since I've known him. And he was my boss at the Herald a long time ago, and he was my brother's boss at the Herald. And in the name of my brother, the Perez Family Foundation is giving $10,000 to an assortment of the arts here in South Florida. But you can give to whoever it is that you want, and you can find all the information that you need as well. GiveMiamiDay.org. Go to the website and get informed. I'm a little uncomfortable by the amount of arguing that Amin and Zaz are doing, and the number of ways that Zaz has been shamed today by Amin. So let's see if Zaz can find out if Amin knows about that. I don't really understand this game that Zaz and Amin are playing, but it's something that Zaz has been grilling Amin about basketball, and generally Amin has known, but there have been a couple of times that Amin has not known. So let's see if you is the point to stump him here?
No, it's just we all want to learn about what's going on in the association. So we're going to find out, if you know about that. You ready, Amin?
I'm ready.
I mean, last night, Zion Williamson decided to play basketball. Very rare occurrence, all right? He played last night. Pelicans still lost. They're awful. You know about Zion Williamson?
I know about Zion Williamson. I don't think he decided to play as if he decided not to play in other moments. He was been hurt again, another victim of the hamstring strain that's been going across the league. He's hurt. Now, I think he is an example of someone that we can blame for some of his injuries for being out of shape, but this year is not one of them. This year he came in to camp the best shape of his career, and he got hurt. Sometimes shit happens.
Zion Williams is a massive bust, right?
Can that be declared now? Can that be declared over? I mean,
I don't know. No, not until he doesn't play well, right? Because that's the part with him that's different from like Greg Oden, for example. Is that when he plays, he's amazing. It's just he's hurt a lot. So I think until his play either drops off or he just doesn't play anymore, I don't think we can close the door.
But they're such a nowhere franchise that it just feels like his bustiness has ended up just cratering them.
Remember, they were one of those franchises. Remember the night that they won the draft lottery and they showed like the room and everyone was freaking out? And it was one of those deals where they got rid of the entire sales staff, because you didn't need a sales staff
that was a joke.
To sell. No, I think that actually happens.
They didn't get rid of him. The joke was like, I don't know if we need a best sales staff, but they did not.
Yeah, it kind of happened with the Heat when we got LeBron. But anyway, now all these years later, and it's like, that building's empty, man.
Yeah, no, the people in New Orleans are pretty pissed, and it's finally hit anti-Zion. I think for the first few years, people were like very protective and supportive. Now the fan base is like, get this guy out of here because he never plays, and we can't move forward as an organization. Also, the early play of Derek Queen and Jeremiah Fears has given the fan base like a glimpse of, okay, maybe there's life after this.
All right, it sounds like Amin knows about that Zion Williamson. Amin, the Sixers. They lost the Toronto Raptors at home last night. So speaking of playing, Joel Embiid, he never plays. Like, he played a few games at the beginning of the season, he never plays. You know about that, Joel Embiid?
I know all about that. I also know about that Philadelphia 76ers who started hot and now are a couple games above 500. The reality is starting to set in for them. And again, Joel Embiid, to me, a poor example of the use of the word decision. That dude is legitimately hurt. And unlike Zion, he's been hurt since before he played a single game. He's had I think he's just got a bad body. Like the Pelicans, though, the light at the end of the tunnel has come up between Maxey and Edgecombe. It's like, okay, maybe there's life after Joel Embiid.
Toronto good or schedule the last 10 games?
Toronto's good.
You know about Toronto?
I know about Toronto.
You know about
sorry,
Toronto?
I'm playing the game wrong. I'm sorry.
Say
I
it, Dan.
ruined it. No, all right. You know about Toronto?
No, you know about that Toronto.
You know about that Toronto?
I know about that Toronto. Toronto's good. Toronto, look, the Brandon Ingram deal last year was one of the most under-the-radar deals, but that was a huge move for them. It gave them a legitimate score to go alongside Scotty Barnes. They got great length across their perimeter. Mark West used to talk to me about this, like the concept of small ball but playing big small ball, which is, all right, we're not going to have two traditional bigs, but all of our perimeter players are 6'7", 6'8", or taller and can handle and do multiple things. And I think Toronto's doing a good job. Don't do that, Dan. I care about you.
Amin, sounds like you know about the Sixers and Toronto. The Oklahoma City Thunder, they beat Sacramento last night. They are 15-1 now, Oklahoma City. Jalen Williams hasn't even played yet. The Thunder are on pace to lose like 5 games this year. You know about that record, 73 wins?
I know all about it, and the thing that makes them a great candidate to do this, number one, their margin of victory is the highest in NBA history right now, right? Which would break what the Bulls were, the 96 Bulls were the prior number one. But number two, because their margin of victory is so high, they're able to not have to play guys. So I don't hear anybody crying about Jalen Williams not playing. The reason why is because they go out there and they bust ass and they win. And so they have the luxury of bringing them along as slowly as they want. But I said the stat the other day about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander not having to play in fourth quarters, but yet still being able to score 30 points in a game. Pretty remarkable.
All right, you know about that Thunder. Amin, last night, Nikola Vucevic hit a shot at the buzzer for Chicago.
The Bulls are fun.
Well, they've won 2 in a row now after losing 5 straight. You know about the Chicago Bulls?
The Russian? You know about the Russian?
Vucevic is Montenegrin, and I know it's a joke, I know, but like I just want to be clear because some dumbass will be like, oh, they don't even know he's not Russian. having said that,
Is that what the dumbass sounds
that,
like?
my teeth stick out when I'm dumb when I talk about things. I don't get the joke. But yes, 2 games in a row. You know who they beat before they beat Portland at a buzzer?
Who?
The Denver Nuggets.
That was a fun game.
Fun game. Chicago, like Dan said, they do play fun. They move around. They're cutting. They're passing. And it's kind of like them, Atlanta, and Miami have all had this kind of awakening of like, we're going to play offense a little differently, not so much give it to our best player and everyone get out of his way. And Josh Giddey is having a phenomenal year. I think I know about them Bulls.
Oh, OKC discards.
Sounds like you know about them.
They're running the sport.
Well,
they're running the sport.
I don't know. I wouldn't call Josh Giddey a discard.
They got a good guy for him.
I'm just saying that OKC has so much abundance that they can give you a player who can be your number one because they don't need him.
Yeah,
There was that thing.
Heat at Bulls tomorrow.
You see
NBA
Bull Durham?
Cup. Yes, I've seen Bull Durham. I got one more for you, Amin.
Okay.
Jalen Brunson returned last night for the Knicks. They won a close game at the Mavericks.
Bullshit last second call there.
You know about that bullshit?
It's bullshit, man. Bullshit. Mavericks should have won that game. That layup was good. No Cooper Flag last night, the first missed game of his career. Or as Zazo would say, he decided not to play.
No, he was sick. If you're sick, you can't play. He was sick.
So was Draymond.
Yeah, he was sick that he couldn't play with Steph because Steph was out.
Yo, Zaz.
Yeah.
You ever seen Maverick?
I have.
Who's in it?
Mel Gibson. Almost called him Tom Cruise.
So it was that Top Gun Maverick.
It's Mel Gibson.
Yeah, how about that chemistry between Mel Gibson and Jodie Foster? Off the charts.
I know. I like when he wins the hand at the end of the movie. That was a good hand.
You know about that James Garner?
Spoiler alert. I would have said, I thought of
My notebook.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Was Maverick a James Garner vehicle or a Mel Gibson vehicle? Because I honestly thought James Garner before Mel Gibson.
Well,
even
James Garner was in the movie remake.
At Le Batard
You know what they call that?
Show on the polls.
The tip of the hat.
I can't believe I did that, though. James Garner, that's a Mel Gibson movie. That's where Mel Gibson became or started to become
Honestly,
a star.
you ever watch a movie and
What?
you're like, have sex already?
Dan, Maverick is not where Mel Gibson started to become a star.
I mean, Lethal Weapon.
That's what it was. Hold
He
on.
was a huge star.
Man, you'll know movies, Dan.
Yeah, Lethal Weapon. Like, he became a star. He became a star 15 years
I have
before that.
I have a proclamation. You know who doesn't know about movies?
Oh, no.
Dan Le Batard.
Oh, no.
It
You
was a
suckers
bad
belong
mistake.
together.
It was a bad mistake. I just had never I had never thought of him. Lethal Weapon. I never thought of him as a comedy person, but I was making Maverick the part that made him my bad. My bad.
You know, Mel Gibson, say what you will.
No, don't do that. I don't understand how he's made a comeback. He's still making movies. He's somehow, yeah. Anyway.
My people are forgiving.
Doesn't like Lucky Jays.
Jeremy, can we get from yesterday's show, I just want to get an assessment from you and an assortment of thoughts. I'd like to start a segment that more regularly critiques the show from the day before. I'd like to get imaging for this. I would like somebody to be an ombudsman for the day before, what it is that we did incorrectly, where it is that criticisms reside, because I suspect while you were listening to yesterday's show, I could just imagine you screaming because of whatever it is that Mike Ryan had to say about the University of Miami. We've spent a lot of time there over the last couple of weeks. We're going to spend a lot more time there, I suspect, there through the holidays. But do we have imaging for this, or we're just going to start it cold, a cappella? We're just going to do it a cappella?
Yes, it's me. There's no imaging for anything like that. But speaking of Mel Gibson, Dan, be careful. You started the show yesterday by criticizing the cream cheese usage of Jonathan Zaslow and Ethan Badowski. I'm just going to say, be careful. A couple Lucky Jays over there. All right? So, let's just be careful on the cream cheese
The
thing.
breakfasts have gotten skimpier here because our cream cheese budget is excessive because of how Ethan and Zaslow are eating.
So you're just going to double down on it.
I'm with Dan. They keep eating all the cream
those people.
cheese. They keep controlling the amount of cream cheese we have here.
What do you mean they?
Are you two not the two who have been eating all the cream cheese?
They're the Jews who have been eating all the cream cheese.
Does Dan know?
I don't think
I don't think he realizes.
Oh
what
my
I'm doing.
God,
He doesn't know. Oh my God.
So uninformed.
My God, he doesn't know.
I think Tony was right. Wemby wouldn't be good at softball.
You guys are ridiculous. You're ridiculous if you believe that. The dude can do the splits.
No. I understand that, but it's really difficult to like bend as quickly
Once
as
again,
you need to do to
John
field the ground
Kruk.
ball. No, but he's short and stout.
Put
That's
it on
better.
the poll at Le Batard Show. If you can do a split, does that automatically make you good at softball?
It's not about athleticism. It's about being near the ball, having to bend toward the ball.
Would
is difficult.
Wemby be a good first baseman? I feel like we should put up
That too.
I mean, he'd be good at catching the ball thrown at him, but I don't know about fielding ground balls.
He'd make a double play. He would field the ball at second base and be touching both bags.
Just reach across.
True. It's like only
Gotcha.
60 feet in softball. Interesting.
How do you think this segment's going?
Dan asked if the kids would put Eddie Murphy up there with Richard Pryor, as if the kids know who Eddie Murphy is.
That's
even
right.
my brother, who's like a full-grown man, he was born the year Shrek came out.
Damn.
That's how old Eddie Murphy is.
So they don't know Eddie Murphy?
Not as a comedian.
They know him as Shrek, the donkey.
They know him as
Shrek.
Donkey.
Yeah.
He's making waffles.
Loves a parfait.
But Dan, that idea that you had about watching old sports moments with kids, good idea. That's a really good idea.
There you go.
Not even a criticism. That's
Positive.
a really good one. We asked who ruined their legacy more, Ben Stiller or Bill Belichick? Stiller, loser, nepo baby. Wow. His father's the GOAT, and he's just like out here.
Definitely Belichick.
He works hard. He's Marcus Jordan. Scrotum face. Good insult.
I was surprised RFK didn't make an appearance on yesterday's show.
I didn't want to touch that one.
And lastly, there was an argument made that there's a world where Ole Miss should miss the playoffs if Lane Kiffin were to leave, while our show spent the overwhelming majority of 2 hours of the show arguing that the only thing that should matter are the games on the field. And I just don't understand sort of the backward line of thinking there, because I am fully
You're a decontextualizer.
with Mike.
Viral decontextualization.
This is bullshit. No, I was just asking the question. I wasn't telling you what to think.
Sure, okay. So that being said, though, the last observation, Mike's totally right about everything. It is a TV contrivance. It's the SEC College Football Invitational, where all they do is invite the teams that they care about. They've been doing this for a decade. And all that really ultimately matters is their bias against the free state of Florida. They don't like people here. They exclude teams from Florida. It's a bias against those of us living in this free state. Our great governor, Ron DeSantis, needs to step up on behalf of the little guy and get Miami to the playoff. And if not, they should maybe consider, if they're not invited, claiming a national championship.
There it is.
If they're not given the opportunity, that's what they should do. Now, have they won all their games? No. You probably should win all your games if you're going to claim a national championship. That's how you do it. But they have an opportunity to be excluded from this thing that is clearly just a TV contrivance, and I don't think it's right either, Mike. I'm with you. I'm here in support. Why? Because I'm saying the same things Mike says?
It feels like support.
The thing, I need your support from Greg Cody there. The thing that's not being talked about, and perhaps you guys can clue me in on this, because it's a giant business, and a few weeks ago they had a different spokesman giving different reasons for why Miami isn't Notre Dame. Paul Feinbaum is now on Miami's side and talking emotionally with his hands a lot in defense of Miami, which is not something I have seen very much of over the years. But is anyone covering or talking about, it's Mac Rhodes, right? Like they just changed from that guy to the wet sock who came out a couple of days ago and was saying what he had to say. And so now the voice of, hey, somebody's coming out in public on behalf of a giant business once a week, okay, as a spokesman. Giant business. Different than the guy from 2 weeks ago. Hey, wet sock, can you explain this to me? Okay, yeah, I'm the Arkansas athletic director. Let me give you the explanation. What happened to the previous guy? He was less of a wet sock. Is this a made-for-television event or not? when they change voices and faces on who's going to explain the business of this to me as you guys decide who are the 12 teams, and you're just going to make it up on behalf of this giant business. Is anyone reporting like why they changed those two things?
Well, Mac Rhodes took a personal leave of absence. If you run a Google, it's not the prettiest situation that he was dealing with. And I know Wetsock didn't ask for this job. It just kind of landed on his lap unexpectedly. Okay, that's all right. Understand you're not ready for the cameras. Not only did he open up a world of hypocrisy, but the criteria specific to Miami also changed. When Mac Rhodes was there, we'd like to see a little bit more consistency from Miami. 2 weeks ago, absolutely, I agreed.
Offensively.
Yeah, offensively, they needed to fix that. Now, 2 weeks later, Miami has their second best offense in the last 20 years, and that discussion's out the window. Now it's about Miami being in a different tier. No one knew about this tier thing before, but that's how they avoid the head-to-head discussion. Who's in charge of the tiers? Because Miami's just 3 teams away from Notre Dame. I feel like that's close enough to have a head-to-head discussion, but apparently not. The tier that Miami is trying to get to apparently cuts off right at Alabama, and a huge talking point was, hey, why is Alabama behind Notre Dame? Alabama, because they rig it, has 4 ranked wins, because Tennessee and Mizzou should not be ranked, but whatever. They have a huge thing on their resume that says they've beaten 4 ranked teams. Why is Alabama behind Notre Dame? So they can avoid the discussion. Same reason why Utah's there. Same reason why, well, BYU, I think it deserves to be even higher than Notre Dame. They rig the entire system. They reverse engineer it with the bottom of the rankings because you don't care about Team 26. You don't care about Team 27. We just cut it off hard at 25, and that's how Arizona State gets to be 25 in the only goddamn poll that it matters. Watch them not rank the winner of SMU Louisville.
He's rigged.
Watch them not do that.
All a giant conspiracy against Miami. He's right. It's a made-for-TV event, and nobody thinks that the U should be there. And to those of you who are looking at me and saying, like, why would they rig it against Miami? It's a U thing. You wouldn't understand. But Mike is right. When he says the lunacy is out there for everyone to see, and the normies are waking up. Incremental games. They're starting to feel the heat. And now it's back in the team's court. When he says that on Twitter, he couldn't be more right.
I know you're yanking my crank here, but
I'm supporting you.
I appreciate even your fake support.
I don't know what's going on Twitter these days.
You just bought a G-Wagon thanks to crypto.
I need your support.
Hey, what's up, Le Batard fans? It's your girl, Roz Goldonwood, with the Good Follow Show. And this week, we have a lot coming out of women's college basketball. There was the Battle of the Real SC, and South Carolina got the win over the Trojans. Oh my gosh, there were so many crazy stat lines and box scores this weekend. We reviewed some of the biggest plays and players. That Project B League, they signed another big name. We will discuss. And then our girl, Lexi Brown, joins the show to talk all things WNBA, CBA, Seattle Storm, off-season, Athletes Unlimited, you name it, we talk it. Good Follow, you can get it wherever you get your podcasts. Listen, subscribe, watch. We love to see you there. We're Tuesdays and Thursdays and presented by DraftKings.
We've got the latest on the Trump Presidential Library Hotel and Casino opening soon right across the street from the studio. Reporter Alex DeLuca of the Miami New Times updates us on the man known as Miami's most corrupt cop. And we watch the mayor of Miami get roasted to his face by the third richest man in the world because Miami.
In Miami, we are definitely not woke.